Welcome into the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. Good show today, folks. We've got Jessica Freeberg on the way with Dumb Crime Stupid Criminals in just a bit. But first, we're going to jump into a story today that's about a man who's been wrongly accused of something he's done. Wrongly accused of not only murder, but of wrong character in general. Totally misconstrued as to who this person is. And we're going to get down to it today with our guest, Margo Nash. The book is called The Politics of Murder, The Power and Ambition Behind the Altar Boy Murder Case. It's a good one, folks. It's in its second edition now, an updated edition through Wild Blue Press. And we'll get into it here in just a moment and talk about why the subject of this book, Eddie O'Brien, is not the killer in this case, and exactly what this case is all about. Our guest, Margo Nash, has been a litigator of both civil and criminal cases in Massachusetts for the past 43 years. Since 2016, her practice has been limited to working with Eddie O'Brien and his lawyers to overturn his wrongful conviction. Let's bring her in now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's welcome in for the first time to True Crime Tuesday, Margo Nash. Hi, Margo. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Very good. Thank you very much for being on the program.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, again, thank you so much for being here. This book is so captivating, and this case is so captivating. Let's break down a little bit for our audience exactly what happened in that fateful night in 1995. And it's hard to believe that it's been over 30 years now since this happened. And Eddie O'Brien was just a teenager at this time, right?
That's right. He was just 15 years old. He was about to enter his sophomore year of high school. And he was a very young 15. I mean, this was not a streetwise kid at all. So very young. So
he had a neighbor named Janet Downing. And
right.
who was his mother's, one of his best friend's mothers, correct?
That's right. Janet had 4 children, and the last 2 were twins, boys. And one of the twins one was named Ryan and one was named Paul, and he was best friends with Ryan and had been for years. And, they lived 25 yards from each other across the street. They were in and out of each other's houses all the time. They were always together.
And there's a little bit of controversy as to the circumstances around Janet. She was divorced. Is that correct?
Janet was divorced. Her husband was remarried. She was single. She was living there with her children. And it had not been an easy divorce for her, but she was doing pretty well at the time.
Okay. She had also taken on a boarder, correct? That was living in the basement?
He was living in the front room, which is the room that has all the windows. If you see pictures of her house, yeah. It's sort of the enclosed porch kind of area with a second living room, if you will. And he and his wife, who was Carol's sister, and their baby, who was 2 at the time, lived there for almost a year.
I'm getting it mistaken with something that her husband, or her sister's husband, was doing in the basement. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct. She asked or told them they had to leave the house when she found out that his name is Artie. Artie was selling drugs to the neighborhood kids out of the basement. There was a refrigerator in the basement where he kept them, and she learned about that. And that's been verified by the neighborhood kids at the time who bought drugs from him. They have freely admitted that he was the dealer that they went to. He would sell them either individual joints or a little bag of marijuana or whatever.
So there's little things going on around the Downing house, which are a little suspect.
That's right. That time. That's right.
Yeah.
So they left March 1st, around that time, and Janet was murdered in July.
Okay. Eddie's home, on the other hand, is anything but archaic or, chaotic, I meant to say. Eddie's home is pretty stable.
Very stable. It was the home that his father grew up in. When in 1995, his grandfather still lived in that house with them. His grandfather is the former chief of police of Somerville and the town they lived in. And he was dying of cancer that July. And Eddie and his family, which consisted of his mother, his father, he had an older sister named Jeannie. He had a younger sister named Jessica, and Jessica was 12. Jeannie was 16 or 17. And there were two babies, 3-year-old Mary and 3-month-old Megan. So there was a brand new baby there, and right up to the grandfather. So it was a full house, Victorian house.
And Eddie also maintained a job, is that right?
He had a job putting together the newspapers before Sunday Mass. The little convenience store that he worked at was directly across the street from St. Joseph's, the church where his family worshipped and also where he was an altar boy.
So he's a pretty down-to-earth kid, and he seems like he's got all his stuff together. This isn't a kid who's making trouble.
Had never been in trouble before, and also he was, for the purpose of the transfer hearings, when he was a juvenile, he was examined by, I think, 3 or 4 separate psychiatrists, and from the Commonwealth. And he was deemed to be a perfectly normal 15-year-old who needed no treatment whatsoever for anything. He was, there was nothing outstanding about his character, his family, his background, his behavior that was concerning.
Okay, so, I mean, and we'll get into it a little bit later in the program, but it seems like even when they go to court with this thing, they're really pulling at strings that don't exist to try and get
exactly. Exactly.
It's really,
and they only did that after they lost. After the first judge, Judge Heffernan, said that he should be retained as a juvenile because even if he committed this crime, he is certainly capable of rehabilitation.
Yeah,
he's a normal kid.
Yeah, crazy. So on that night, it's Eddie is it's crazy to even think that this young child even did this, because even on the night that he supposedly did this, he was still doing good acts in the neighborhood, wasn't he?
Absolutely. I mean, he babysat lots of kids in that neighborhood, and that night was a very, very hot, muggy night, and there were a bunch of kids on the porch with his father and a neighbor and the neighbor's children, and he went in and got all the kids popsicles just before he allegedly went across the street and murdered somebody.
That doesn't seem like a psychopathic killer to me, that's for sure.
No, nor to anyone else. So they had to make him into one. Yeah.
They had to twist this 15-year-old boy into something they definitely needed. Now,
right.
And the timelines really don't fit here at all either. What's interesting about Janet Downing's place is that there are neighbors in an adjoining wall. Is this correct?
That's correct. It's a duplex, so okay. They share a wall. And
the way this all kind of comes together is if I understand this right, Margo, so Eddie kind of, even though he's 15 and he kind of makes his own money and whatnot, he kind of went out, if I understand this, he kind of went out for a snack at Burger King, right? At one point, because his friends were going to go swimming, and right. He doesn't really, he didn't go to the public pools because he was, I'll say this being a little bit of a chunky boy myself at that age, a little bit chunky, right? So he was kind of not really, right. Didn't like
the other reason that is not in the book, but the other reason he didn't go is because the boys' house that they were going to, they were going over to smoke pot.
Oh.
And, Eddie didn't do drugs or drink, so he didn't want to go because he didn't approve of it.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I did not put that in the book because I didn't want to sully the character of anybody else,
Wow.
Not that it sullies it for me, but it may for other readers. But he was very, very adamant about not doing drugs, and that's what they were really going for.
Well, see, that adds even more to his character, though.
I know, but it also says something about the other boys that I didn't want said.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Margo, that adds a whole nother layer to the story.
Well, I'm glad it does.
Yeah.
I'm glad I could tell you that then.
Yeah. I mean, if this kid didn't, I mean, you know, because he figured that's one more layer to this that would kind of bring him down that road, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, it's also true that he didn't like to go swimming because of he was a big kid, you know?
Yeah.
He was 6'1" at 15.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's 6'6" now.
Yeah. I mean, but you know, I mean, and one more thing that as we'll get into, like I said later in the program, that his attorney, I don't think did him much of a service, Bob George, which we'll talk about later in the program. But one more thing that Bob George could have used, obviously, in his defense. But I guess I digress there. It seems to me that a kid who is that clean, put it that way, a kid who's that on the up and up, how could you even possibly want to tag this on him?
Because he was he was the ideal person that they needed to push this legislation. There was so much racially going on in Boston and Massachusetts, and they had an agenda to change the juvenile law, even though it was working perfectly well. There was a national fear going on of this super predators were going to be taking over the cities and just marauding around and killing people at random, and they had no conscience, and they wanted to put these people behind bars and all of that. But they couldn't in Boston anyway. I don't know in other towns, but they could not in Boston make this a black or brown offender because it would be so racially charged because that's in fact that's who they were trying to imprison, but this made it perfect. He was a white altar boy kid that was the grandson of the chief of police who had his grandfather retired the year he was born, so it's not that he was active at that time, but they couldn't have written the script better. The problem is that they couldn't find a motive, and so they had to create one.
Understood.
So,
yeah. And I get it. You have to have a poster boy for the movement, right? You have to put someone out front so that you can get that passed.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that.
And they were successful. It's called the Eddie O'Brien Law. The Youthful Offender Act did pass when he was in between his juvenile trial and his adult trial. So, wow. And also the two politicians who were pushing it the most were the governor and the district attorney who tried the case. He was an elected official, and he had been district attorney. He wanted to be attorney general. He was going to be running for attorney general, and the governor was going to resign and run for Senate. And so this was going to be their legacy of the juvenile, their contribution to run. And it was a big running feature of their campaigns.
Yeah, one of the quotes at the end of the book that actually sickened me was when the attorney general, or the man who prosecuted this case, who would be attorney general, said something to the effect of if he had it his way, he would put Eddie O'Brien behind bars for the rest of his life because he felt if he was let loose, he'd be a serial killer.
Right.
That line absolutely turned my stomach.
Well, it's overkill, like the whole case.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so far from the truth. It's so far-fetched.
Yeah. It because there's nothing there that indicates anything that could be even close to that sentence that came out of his mouth.
And especially since they made their motive, they made personal to Janet.
Yeah.
They didn't make him into a person who had bloodlust.
Right.
They made it some sort of infatuation of this older woman, which was, again, so far from the truth. She was a mother figure to him. He had known her since he was a toddler.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about that for a moment, because there was a misconstrued truth that was put out there. There was a few things that Eddie had said about Janet that they tried to twist in the trial. Now, he had said one thing that was actually a little humorous, that he didn't enjoy her cooking, I believe, right?
Yes, that's pretty much the only negative thing he really did say about Janet.
Okay.
And his mother is an incredible cook.
Okay.
So,
she had a lot to live up to. Right. Right.
Right.
The other thing is that the prosecution in this case had said that they were accusing him of leering at her or essentially being a bit of a voyeur when it came to Janet Downing. And that was far from the truth. It was actually two other boys, correct?
That story really was Eddie and another boy sitting on the front porch of Eddie's house, and they looked up in the other direction away from the Downing's house, and they saw a African-American woman dressing.
Oh, okay.
And that's where the story originated, but it was morphed into or twisted into that he watched Janet undress in her bedroom from his bedroom window, which the two are not, you can't see her bedroom from his bedroom window.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And they allege that he did it with a telescope because they did not seize for evidence, but there was a telescope in his room that was holding up a broken window, and it itself was broken. If they had looked through it, they would have seen you couldn't see anything because it was broken. And he had the old rope windows, the old wooden rope windows, and both ropes were broken. And he propped open the window with this telescope. They didn't seize it for evidence, but they at trial, they tried to say that he used that telescope to watch Janet Downing through a window he could not see. Even with binoculars, he wouldn't be able to see it. I mean, not that it was far away, but it was on the other side of the house.
Yeah.
And there was a big tree in front of them.
Okay, so an impossibility there that he could even attempt that. But
Right.
even for a small peep, that's not enough to work up a bloodlust or any type of lust to try and make him want to even attempt to kill her.
Right.
I mean,
even if, none of the story fit together. If he was infatuated, why would he kill her? I mean, there was nothing that made sense about it.
Yeah. Now, there's another subplot here that leads up to the night where Janet Downing's killed. Janet Downing's, she kind of confides with one of her best friends?
No, I wouldn't say it's one of her best friends, but it was her neighbor of many years who had known her since high school. And she spent the last 9 hours of her life with Gina, sitting on Gina's front porch, which was 2 doors down from Eddie and diagonally across the street from Janet's.
And she essentially tells her that, she's in fear of Artie, that Artie, essentially, she believes has been stalking her since
Correct.
she kicked Artie out of the house.
That's right.
And that he drives a cab. He's been driving is it a green cab? Is that what it is?
That's the name of the company,
Yeah.
the Green Cab.
And that everywhere she goes, she's being tailed by green cabs. And that... there's just these odd things that have been happening.
Right.
I believe something to the effect of there's something having to do with windshield wiper fluid at one time, right?
Right, being poured in her car.
Yeah.
There was somebody was coming into the house and moving things around. Taking Christmas decorations out of the attic or wherever they were stored and putting them in the living room. It was obvious that somebody was in the house, and one of the most significant ones was that she had a diary, sort of a workbook about surviving divorce that was on her night table, and she looked at and she read it every night, and she did the exercises and stuff in it or wrote stuff in it, and that was missing one day, and she couldn't figure out how that was missing because she never moved it. She never took it out of her room. And about a week later, she was getting into her car at work, and Artie walked up behind her and handed her the book and said, "I found this in a parking lot. I thought you might want it back."
And there's no way
that really scared her.
Yeah, there's no way that Janet took that out of the house.
Right.
Right. So, Janet knew that there was imminent danger when it came to Artie.
She was I think that there was more she probably didn't tell Gina that day, because she was really very scared that day. And she was insistent that if something happened to her, that Gina promised to make sure the police would investigate it, because she would never harm herself. And she was afraid that somebody was going to harm her.
And investigated, they really didn't. I mean, they kind of just did a quick once over and tagged what
he became the suspect the minute they learned that he had a hand, that he was at the convenience store and had a cut on his hand. That was Janet was still in the house being worked on by EMTs when he became a suspect, and it was only because of that.
Now we should explain here in just a bit, and we will on the other side of the break, how Eddie gets involved in this whole thing. And it kind of sounds fantastical, right? When you hear it, and this is
absolutely
kind of where Eddie gets in trouble, because it does sound fantastical, but sometimes people have bad luck. I mean, I've had incredibly bad luck in my life. I can relate to Eddie, and just how bad sometimes your luck can be. I tell you, folks, I really feel for Eddie, because it ended up being a night that I don't think I'd ever want to live through and ever want these circumstances to fall upon me. But unfortunately, it did fall on Eddie.
Yes, it did.
And he had that horrible luck continue. Folks, the name of the book is The Politics of Murder, second edition, and it's out right now. And the power and ambition, the full title is The Politics of Murder, The Power and Ambition Behind the Altar Boy Murder Case. Margo Nash is our guest. She's the author of this wonderful book. It's put out by Wild Blue Press. We have a link in the description of this program, so you can go get the book during the break. When we come back, we'll talk about these horrible circumstances that fell upon Eddie. We'll talk about the trial and how things went wrong there. And we'll update you just a little bit. Now, most of the updates in the book, and we encourage you to go get the book and find out more about it. But we'll talk just a little bit about what's going on with Eddie now. That'll happen right after the break. But first, let me tell you about what's going on with our sponsor, Jelly Bean and Julia's. If you need just a little bit of break from life, which I know we all do, you want to stop into Jelly Bean and Julia's this week, where the specials are absolutely wonderful. The food's absolutely wonderful. Oh, let me tell you, folks, I went over there a little bit this week and enjoyed myself. If you haven't, I know you need to. The specials over there this week include happy hour, 25%, and this is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, happy hour, 25% off all appetizers. That excludes their appetizer sampler, half price off all single pour well drinks, half price off Michelob Golden Light and Coors Light taps, and half price off all domestic cans and bottles. Then, of course, on Friday, the smoked prime rib dinner. Folks, I've been telling you about this for weeks. It is delicious. Even the au jus is smoked. Corey smokes that prime rib overnight in that walk-in smoker. It's one of the biggest walk-in smokers you'll ever see in your life, folks. 12 and 16-ounce cuts of prime rib. It comes with that tequila berry salad, that sweet and tangy dressing with the bacon bits. You also get a Boston baked potato that is deep fried in avocado oil, one of the most healthiest oils you can get. You can get it fully dressed. You can get it with the butter, the sour cream, bacon bits, whatever you want on that Boston baked potato. You also get it with Texas toast, so you've got it fully loaded. That whole dinner is just amazing, and you get it for a nominal fee. It's the perfect dinner, probably one of the top 5 dinners you'll have in your life. It's that smoked prime rib dinner on Friday night. They start serving at 4:30. Get there early because they serve it until it's gone. It gets gone in a hurry, so get there early on Friday night at Jelly Bean and Julia's. Sunday breakfast only on Sundays at Jelly Bean and Julia's. It's well worth it. Chicken and I can't even say it. Chicken and waffles. There you go. Chicken and waffles, much, much more at Jelly Bean and Julius. JellyBeanandJulius.com. Check it out. The link is in the description of the program. JellyBeanandJulius.com. Jelly Bean and Julius on Coon Rapids Boulevard in Coon Rapids. All right, when we come back, more with Margo Nash and the politics of murder right here on the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. Welcome back to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. My guest is Margo Nash. She is the author of The Politics of Murder, The Power and Ambition Behind the Altar Boy Murder Case. Second edition. Second edition is the updates to the first edition. First edition, Margo, came out when? Was it 2017, 2016?
2016.
Okay, yeah. And there's been some updates since then. Again, pick up this new edition to find out what's gone on since then. We'll talk just a tiny bit about it, not much. We don't want to give too many spoilers about what's gone on since then. So we're coming to that fateful night here, Margo, and so Eddie's decided, after giving popsicles to the kids and doing a little bit of babysitting and kind of giving some friendly rabble, rousing to was it his? It wasn't his sister, was it? Who had the fake ID?
He put in a video for his little sister to watch, and he went upstairs to his room for a little while. Who was it who had the fake ID? I know he gave somebody some guff about one of the people that his sister Jeannie and Paul, the other twin, went to Revere Beach with. She had a fake ID, and he had taken it from her, and he was holding it from her, and they were goofing around. That's yeah. So and so the other boys went off to do whatever they went to do. He was by himself. He decided he was going to go get a snack at Burger King, which is probably, I think, as you described it, probably the one mistake he regrets doing. It was at that point that, did he decide at one point that he wasn't going to go to Burger King, or what happened there? No, he decided, well, first of all, the other boys left at 7:30. Okay. He was with his dad on the porch and these kids and all that stuff, taking care of his little sister and doing whatever he did till about 9 o'clock. And then he said to his father, I think it was almost 9:10, that he said to his father, I'm going to go down to Burger King and get a burger. And he left the house and walked across the street toward the Downing house. That's the way that you would go to Burger King. And he thought, well, I'll just stop in and see if Ryan's back yet. Okay. And that's how he got himself into the house. Ah, okay. What happened is he walked up to the front door, and there was a sort of vestibule, and that door was always unlocked. And then he saw the inner front door was part way open, and so he went into the vestibule, and he first knocked on the window, which is what he always did before he went in, and then he went in. He gradually pushed the door aside and walked into the hallway. That on the right was your dining room, left was the living room, and he saw Janet on the floor in the dining room, and she was on her side. And he said, Janet, are you okay? And he went over to her, and he turned her over, and that's when he saw the stab wounds on her. And he stood up and started, backing away, and a man held a knife to him, and then at that moment, that was at 9:20. The other boys came back, they too looking for Ryan. The boys who had gone swimming, quote, smoking pot, came back, knocked on the door, and the person who was holding the knife to him said, close that door, and he reached behind him, and he pushed the door closed, and then he said, get out of here. He didn't use much more foul language. Get out of here. I know who your family is. I know where you live. I will kill everybody in your family if you tell anybody what you've seen. And so Eddie ran through the dining room. He couldn't go to the front. He couldn't go through the front door because his friends were there. Right. He went through the dining room, down the kitchen stairs to the basement. The basement door was wide open. which it never was. And so he ran out the basement door straight into the bushes in the back. And his friends thought they saw someone and they called to him. They thought it might be him. He didn't respond at all. He just kept going. He was just terrified.
Yeah. Oh, as he should be. Yeah.
Yeah.
At that point, Eddie runs to the convenience store, right?
No, he went to Burger King.
Okay.
And he just tried to collect himself because he was a mess, you know. He had just seen somebody murdered. He almost got killed himself, or he had a knife held to him and being threatened with killing him. And he poured some water on his face and splashed some water on his face and, tried to collect himself, and then decided he wasn't going to eat a burger. That he was too upset. And he started walking down to the convenience store, which is his safe place. I mean, he liked being in there, and he knew all the clerks, and he would, he was a big sports fan, so he liked to read all the sports magazines there and stuff. And so he walked in there, and on his way to there, two young teenagers, in their mid-teens, walked toward him, pulled out a knife, and said, "Give me all your money." And he put his hand in his pocket, and he gave him the $17 that he had. And one kid said, "You looked at me. You just saw me. Now I'm going to have to stick you." And Eddie reached out his hand and inadvertently grabbed the blade. Although he's not even today, he's not consciously aware of doing that. He had no idea he was cut. But then he realized after they fled that he was cut, and he walked, and he was looking at the cut on his hand when he walked into the convenience store, and the owner of the store said to him, "You look like you just ate a bad pizza or something. What's the matter with you?" And he said, "I just got jumped, and some guy stole my $17. And it was the store owner who called the police, not Eddie, and handed Eddie the phone. Okay. Eddie would not have called the police for that. I mean, it didn't seem. Well, first of all, I think he just wanted to go home, but he didn't know how to do that,
Right.
So the police came, they looked at his hand, they said that they didn't think it was injured enough, and they called the O'Brien house to say that Eddie was down here at midnight convenience, and he had a cut on his hand, but he was okay, and and his father said to them, "Can you bring him home?" And they said, "Sure." So the police drove him home. And when he got home, his grandfather said, "You really need to get a tetanus shot." And so he went to his father was the one that was over at the Downing house dealing with the police, because Ryan, the way Janet was found is Ryan finally came home at about 10 o'clock with his rollerblades on, and rolled into the hallway and saw his mother, and immediately turned around and ran to Mr. O'Brien, who was like his dad,
Yeah.
And he said, my mom, there's all blood." And Mr. O'Brien grabbed the portable phone, not a cell phone, but the kind didn't have wires attached.
Yep.
And he called 911, "Get to the Downing house immediately. There's been injuries," and blah, 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 as he's running across the street. And so he was the one who found the first adult to see the scene and see Janet. And then they told him that his son was at midnight convenience and had a cut. And the police overheard that, and they said, "Oh, she's stabbed. He has a cut. He might be a suspect." So they asked, the three boys who were there, Marco, Brew, and they're all named in the book,
Yep.
Who had been with Eddie that day and had gone swimming that night, if they saw somebody at the house when they were there at 9:20, and they said they'd seen somebody jump out of the bushes, but they could not say who it was. And one of them said, it definitely wasn't Eddie. And those stories all changed to make it part of the narrative of the district attorney. But that's what they said that night. And so that when Eddie got to the hospital, a state policeman showed up. And, state police don't investigate muggings,
Right.
and people weren't thinking straight that night, and they asked if they could swab the scratch on his leg. He got scratched in the bushes, and he said, sure. And they took that swab, and it was type AB blood, and he's type O. And it could have been anybody with type AB blood. They didn't do any further testing to find out if it was Janet's AB blood.
Right.
And because of the swab and the cut on his hand and the circumstances, they arrested him.
Unbelievable.
Well, not that night. They took his clothes. They took all of his clothes, and they took him down for questioning. And at some point, it became clear that they were not investigating the mugging because he had to sign a Miranda waiver, and they don't do that to victims. They only do it to suspects, And so his father realized he was a suspect, and they let him go that night, and they arrested him a day later. Before they'd done any investigation.
Now, he eventually gets this lawyer, Bob George, and we'll kind of skip ahead. You can find out in the book how he obtains Bob George. He was a well-known criminal defense attorney, but they got him through a friend who had recommended, who had a lawyer son or whatever who knew Bob George. Okay. And it seems to me that even though he was obtained and things are on the up and up, it doesn't seem like Bob paid a whole heck of a lot of attention to Eddie's case. He paid just enough attention to put together a defense, but not enough attention to really.
I don't think there was a defense.
Yeah.
His defense was he didn't do it.
Right. Yeah. He couldn't have done it because he's a nice boy. I mean, yeah. Yeah. And that's not a defense.
No, because there was DNA evidence and there was all kinds of evidence that needed to be addressed. Yeah. They put on this FBI profiler, in the juvenile part of the case, and who's been completely discredited over the years, named John Douglas. And no, I'm sorry. It's let me apologize to John Douglas. I can't remember. I think his name is Greg something. Greg McCrary,
okay.
Who has been discredited in every court in the United States since then. And that's where they built their profile of the sexual attraction.
Yeah. And there's again, we'll refer you back to the book for a lot of this, but it seems like he drops the ball on many different things.
He dropped the ball pretty much every time he could.
Right. Simple things is there are many different people who could have attested to Janet's story of in her profile of being afraid of
absolutely
of
Artie.
Thank you.
Right.
Words is hard today, Margo.
I know.
Of being afraid of Artie. And there's one particular thing we forgot to mention too, is at the scene of the crime, for some reason, Artie's keys were in the backyard for his cab.
Yes, he lost them back there.
How do you lose your keys in someone's backyard?
I could suggest a way by running out the back door.
There you go. Yeah, out of the backyard of the basement, right?
That's correct.
Mm-hmm. But again, I don't know how the cops don't pick up on that one. That's a big obvious. Wouldn't you think at the scene of the crime? But the cops returned his keys, didn't they? It's
huge. And it just, when I wrote this 10 years ago, there was so much that was wonky and so much that was potentially corrupt about the investigation, that I thought people are never going to believe this, But since then, in the last 10 years, we've seen lots of trials where things were absolutely not as they seemed. And people got to watch that day to day on court TV and things like that. And it's not a hard sell today to say, the police were corrupt, the district attorney was corrupt, the lab was corrupt. 10 years ago, people didn't want to believe that stuff, but it's absolutely true in this case. And I now believe that they were consciously protecting that individual, Artie Ortiz, from any investigation.
Yeah, I believe so too. They were pretty quick to find whatever minute traces of blood they could have found from Eddie anywhere, right?
That's right. And there was no blood of Eddie's or on Janet, no DNA of Eddie's on Janet.
Right.
And he was excluded from the DNA under her fingernails and on the murder weapon, or a piece of the murder weapon that they found. He was excluded. And that's pretty much not guilty if you knew that. But this was in the early days of DNA. And DNA had just been accepted as a regular evidentiary tool that could be admitted into evidence. The OJ trial was the first trial that used it, and this is right after the OJ verdict.
But didn't the district attorney stop the DNA investigation or the DNA results before they got to what was underneath the fingernails, or what the results would have been for the blood under the fingernails?
They never, they did preliminary tests of both of those items at different times, told him that they were not coming up as Eddie O'Brien's, and he said, stop all testing. And he held it till right before the trial so that they were delivered on, I think, September 9th, and the trial started the following week. So Bob George had no DNA expert to say, this is huge. He's been excluded from the murder weapon, and whoever killed her is under her fingernails. They never ran that profile through the system to see if they could get a match. They never compared it to anybody else who might be a suspect.
And that would have been your killer.
That would have been the killer, if you ask me. I've never seen a murder victim have DNA under his or her fingernails that was not the killer.
Yeah.
She fought for her life, Janet.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it probably because the DA knows that his case would have fallen apart. And, And he had to win it.
I mean, he lost the first piece. He lost the bid to get him tried as an adult, which is the whole purpose of the law that he's trying to get it put into. And so he had to do all kinds of appeals in order to get that overturned and to get a new judge. He had to get rid of this judge. The judge wouldn't change his opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was successful in doing all that. So,
as a result, Eddie gets sentenced to what?
Life without parole. First juvenile to get sentenced to life without parole. He was 17 by then. And he went to Walpole, which is like, the worst prison. It's the worst prison in Massachusetts. I mean, it's a lot of old murderers, criminals, gangsters, who've been there all their lives. And he was a 17-year-old boy.
An altar boy who babysat in the neighborhood, handed out popsicles.
Right.
Used to walk away from boys who smoked marijuana. Is in with the worst of the worst.
Yes.
But he maintains a positive attitude.
He's an unbelievable kid. He really is. He's not a kid anymore. He's 46. Yeah. But he is just unbelievable. I mean, his record in the last 31 years of the things he's accomplished and degrees that he's gotten and programs that he's started. And he's not, he still has never had a drug or a drink. In 31 years in prison, he's never been never had a drug or a drink. He was confirmed. He made his confirmation in Walpole. He still is a practicing Catholic. He still goes to Mass every time it's available to him. He's very proud of that too, and he's not a gang member, which is almost unheard of, because it's so. It's like every other prison. There are gangs and racial biases, and he's the person that brokers peace agreements between the two gangs. Wow. They come to him to do that.
It's amazing.
He's respected by the Black inmates, he's respected by the Latino inmates, and he's respected by the white inmates. And he's just an unbelievable kid. And if there's a reason that Eddie O'Brien was put on this earth, it was to show us that you can do anything, no matter what cards are dealt to you.
He's truly inspirational, and
he really is.
And his one hope is to what?
His one hope is to prove his innocence. He just wants a new trial. Give him a level playing field without a corrupt investigation, without blood tests that have been tampered with in the laboratory, without, all kinds of all the injustices that he suffered the first time around. He's now 46. He could try this case himself. That's how much of a jailhouse lawyer he's become. And he could win this case.
No, Margo,
and he just wants people to know he is not a murderer.
I have to ask you the question, though. In Bob George, part of his rambling of almost an hour in his closing arguments was that this scene was so tampered. There was something like 19 people who trampled over the scene. And by the time you get, you eliminate EMTs and whatnot, there's 14 people who trampled over the scene. There was so much blood everywhere, and it was so mixed up, and everything was so discombobulated that there's no such thing as a pure scene, and this is so out of control that there's no way you'll be able to get proper DNA. Is that true? Or is there a clean sample that you could exonerate Eddie O'Brien with?
Well, the fingernails and the murder weapon have been exhausted. They were exhausted in testing, meaning they don't exist anymore. But the defense was what they do is they take all the evidence and they make two piles: prosecution and defense. Defense had its opportunity to test all that stuff too. They didn't do it. When they came to those critical pieces, they said, we're going to exhaust the samples by testing them. Please have your DNA expert attend the sampling of them. He didn't send anybody. Bob George didn't send anybody. So, but we do have the profile that they extracted, which is not Eddie. So we have a profile. We just need to find out who belongs to that profile, but we don't have clean DNA to test. And the minute amount of DNA that they found in the house, one was in the back of the door when he pushed his fingers to close the door when the person with the knife told him to close the door, and two were in the basement at the bottom of the basement stairs, which there's a post right there that would kill you if you were going down there fast, and this is a big boy going down there. There was a thumbprint, I think, of his, and then there was a spot of blood on a piece of clothing that was on a clothesline that was down there. Clothes were hanging down there, and there were clothes. Three of them had blood spots, but only one of them had Eddie's DNA on it, and it was mixed with yet another DNA. Another faint DNA. So everything they found, all three DNA evidence, all three pieces of DNA evidence from the house had another DNA in it, in addition to Eddie's. So it's very suspect.
There's one more question I have to ask you here as we're beginning to wrap up here, and that's this: since you've released both the first edition and second edition, you yourself have been hounded by Artie.
Yes.
on Wild Blue Press's comments and in other comments and other forums. Why would Artie be so? And I'm only asking you your opinion on this. Why would he be so defensive if he is so innocent?
That's a very good question. And why does he insert himself every time there's a discussion about this case?
Yeah.
He's no longer a part of that family. She divorced him. He is, as far as I can tell, not welcome in that family, although he will tell you a different story. But he insists that his name has been dragged through the mud by a liar named Margo Nash, and that he is going to defend the Ortiz name. That's what he keeps saying. But every time he does it, he implicates himself more and more and more. And he's one of those people that likes to oversee the investigation, you know? I don't know.
I would say if Artie were so innocent, why doesn't he volunteer to come forward and submit his DNA?
He was actually, that was asked of him recently, and people offered to pay for it. And he wouldn't do it. They were offered to pay him and pay for the testing. And he refused to do it. And he said, why should I do that? I have nothing to hide. I mean, you know, but the fact of the matter is that they never compared his DNA to the blood at the scene. And there were also fingerprints, a whole palm print in Janet's blood. That was not Eddie's. There's lots of bloody fingerprints that don't belong to Eddie.
Well, that's funny. If he has nothing to hide, then he should submit fingerprints and DNA. Right?
That's what they said to him, but he wouldn't do it.
Oh, well, evidently he has something to hide. But I do know that he did have DNA done for a paternity test, and that was recently, within the last 5 years, I think. And so the Commonwealth can access that family genealogy. So the Commonwealth was not interested. They didn't care who murdered Janet. That's the real travesty, besides what happened to Eddie. What that family has been through is unbelievable. They've been lied to. They essentially didn't care about Janet and her family or who killed her. They cared about passing a law and getting elected. That is absolutely astounding.
It's you know, it's just unbelievable.
I don't get it, Margo. When it comes to, having to get certain laws passed, you'd be amazed what happens to get it done.
I am.
And it's not like at this point that law is going to come unraveled.
That law is gone. It was overturned in 2012 by the U.S. Supreme Court, who said it was cruel and unusual punishment.
Then why? And
that was overturned and expanded in Massachusetts by the new brain science that youths can't be sentenced for the rest of their lives because their brains don't mature until their mid-20s.
Then why is Eddie O'Brien there for the rest of his life?
Oh, he was, when the Supreme Court of the United States overturned life sentences without parole for juveniles everywhere in all 50 states, he was resentenced to second-degree murder with the possibility of parole. But you can't get parole unless you admit to the crime. You can't claim innocence and be paroled.
Wow.
So that's why.
That's insane as well.
Isn't it?
That's insane as well. Now, do I understand it correctly? The Innocence Project is working on his case right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Not the Innocence Program, the big one. It's the New England Innocence Project.
Okay. Okay.
And through them, Committee for Public Counsel Services here, they have an innocence. There's a lot of people that do the work now. It's not just one office per se. So yes, they are working with him. That's who is paying for his lawyers right now.
Okay. All right. Well, folks, I encourage you to get the book. It's incredibly, incredibly fascinating as to how one person can get railroaded, how people's lives can be ruined, how justice sometimes just doesn't get done. And you can almost at times get your stomach turned, and how you could want to just kind of lash out and figure out how you can help, right? How can people help if they want, Margo?
There are three places. We just had a big fundraiser last Friday night trying to raise money for his defense fund. And there's a Cash App and a Venmo app that have links for his defense fund. And there's a fund called Give, Send, Go for Eddie O'Brien as well. All of them going into a defense fund so we can get these experts on board in hopes that he's going to get a new trial. His lawyers are in the process of putting together the final piece of his motion for a new trial. It's going to be his first appeal. And
His first appeal in this many years?
Yes. He's been putting this appeal together since 2016. And so, and he's had to change lawyers a few times. So, yes, everybody gets an automatic appeal. It's called a direct appeal. They're always just completely rubber stamped. He had that, and then he settled in to living his life. And then as he matured and got a little bit older, he started fighting it. And he said, I can live he said to me, I can live with the fact that I'm going to die in jail. I can't live with the fact that people believe I murdered her.
Wow.
So
isn't that something that a man who knows he didn't do it can say to himself, I can live with the fact that I can die in jail, but not with the fact that people think I did it.
That's right.
Right.
Because he'll never say he did it just to get out.
Right.
He will not admit to a crime that he did not commit.
Right.
So that may keep him in jail for the rest of his life, even though he's parole eligible.
That tells you that he's a good, upstanding, moral person.
And he is.
Yeah. Interesting.
Thank you.
Margo, I thank you so much for being with us today. Again, the book is The Politics of Murder, The Power and Ambition Behind the Altar Boy Murder Case. It's available by Wild Blue Press. We have a link in the description of this program. Margo, I want to thank you so much for spending time with us today on True Crime Tuesday.
Thank you very much. I had a great time.
As did I. Thank you. Folks, we're going to lighten things up a little bit. It's time now for us to bring in Jessica Freeberg, and it's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals.
It's Crayon News story time.
What happened with this dude, Christ Bearer? I heard he cut his penis off and then jumped off a balcony.
Suspect pulls gun from butt, shoots twice at Denver police.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah.
It's that time again. Time you've all been looking forward to. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals. And with that, I need to go hostess. One that Binder of the Hindustan Times has said, I bow to the West. And in this, when I bow to the West, I remember and keep myself humble that the day is approaching. In fact, the day is here. It's here, August 11th. And I say to my goddess, congratulations, goddess, for I know that the three are out, the three sacred tomes of which I celebrate. My family is overjoyed. We celebrate with a great feast. And then we open the sacred tomes and we read to the children, in which they are somewhat scared, but that's all right. We tell them there are worse things in the world. There are worse things happening that are scarier than what's in the tomes, the sacred tomes. And we add them to the sacred books that we have in the church library. Because keep in mind, Bender now worships in the Church of Freeburg. So he's added them to the sacred tomes in the Church of Freeburg. After he's read them to the children, of course. And then they will now be called Gospels. In the Church of Freeburg. But Binder he's now added them he's received them and added them to the Church of Freeburg. They'll be used at I don't know what day of service the Church of Freeburg is conducted. I'll have to ask Binder the next time I talk to him.
Every day, Tim. Every day.
Every day. That's right. There's a service every day, Jess. And now the ceremonial scroll and the barrel of ink has been brought down, and the charts are about to be made out and be broken, destroyed, decimated, because the books have been released. Ladies and gentlemen,
this is so exciting.
I know, isn't it exciting? Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Eater of Worlds, Destroyer of Charts, Jessica Freeburg. Hi, Jess.
Hey, oh my gosh. It is book release day. When you said that, I was like, it is.
Yeah.
Yay.
Think I forgot, didn't you?
Well, life is busy. There's a lot going on.
I got nothing going on. It's just me in this little old studio.
Yeah. That's a little something though, Tim. Keeps you busy.
I don't know about that.
That and your squirrels.
Yeah. Hey, chipmunks.
Oh, chipmunks.
The only thing that one squirrel does, Arnold, is all he does is piss me off.
I know it's chipmunks. I'm sorry. Sorry,
That's
chipmunks. You're very different.
They are different.
Squirrels are naughty.
They are. They're evil.
Yeah.
They're like cats.
Yeah. Remember we had that story about a squirrel that was like eating like wires and stuff and just like wreaking havoc on a whole community.
Yeah.
Chipmunks don't do that.
No. That squirrel up front, boy, you know what he, okay, real quick, you know what he did the other night? He turned my wildlife camera around and he knocked, I have a little goat skeleton for it's like a little baby goat skeleton for Halloween that I keep out there, who kind of protects the seeds that are on my front porch so he doesn't eat them all, so that the other animals can. He knocked my goat skeleton over. Yeah.
He's over it, man.
I'm telling you, he does it out of spite. And he knocks this thing over on a regular basis. Kind of like he's like, I'll show you.
Yeah.
Give me more seeds.
Yeah, I feel that energy sometimes, though. I understand that squirrel. I can knock some things over now and then.
Yeah. He also broke, I had 2 glass candles out there, glass candle votives, you know. Mm-hmm. He knocked both those over and broke them one day.
He's so naughty.
He is. I don't know why people think these squirrels are so good. They're not. But the chipmunks, on the other hand, they're fun.
Chipmunks are just sweet. The bunnies are trouble at my house. They eat everything.
Yeah, they can be trouble. Yeah.
And I feed them. Like I put food out for them. Yep. I didn't before. And we would live trap them and take them away, which always made me feel bad because then I'm like, oh, don't they kind of live in families? And then
they do.
Like, mom just doesn't come home. That's terrible. So then I told my husband, I'm like, Tim feeds his critters, and I think we just need to start feeding them so they stop eating our Christmas lights and like everything. And so we did. They didn't eat our Christmas lights this year. They did not. So that's good.
Yeah.
But they're still eating everything else they can find. But
they will still eat at your garden, even if you feed them.
Yeah.
Because they eat everything.
Love my flowers.
Yeah, they will. But, you really do have to cage them up and stuff. Not them, but I mean, you have to cage up your, you have to.
We do. All of my flowers in the front have cages on them.
Yeah.
That's why I got so hurt when Winston pulled me off the front deck, or the front porch. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He yanked me off the front porch because he was excited. He saw someone and I landed in the cages and they're like big metal.
Oh, yeah.
Thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anywho.
Yeah. I telling you, the bunnies can do some damage, but they are darn cute.
They are cute. And I had a pet bunny, so I have a soft spot for bunnies, all bunnies.
Yeah.
So
I have, people are going to think this is counteractive or counterproductive, or they're also going to think this is, what's the word for it? Cruel and unusual. But I also have rodent traps around my property. So they're going to be like, well, Tim, why do you have bait traps for rodents around your property when you have chipmunks? The chipmunks know to come eat at the little troughs I have on the property. Yeah. So they know not to go eat out of the traps. We have little talks. I know people are going to be like, Tim, you're insane. You talk to a chipmunk and they're supposed to know to come eat out of the dishes. But they do. They know to eat out of the dishes. But the whole idea is that, and I know we're off topic. We'll get to the stories here in a moment, folks. But the idea is the bunnies, though, there was one, and I hate to say this, but there was one year that a baby bunny got so hungry that he went into the bait trap and ate out of the bait trap and died.
Oh,
we
sad.
did have one of those that happened. So I had to have a talk with the bunnies. Yeah, I was like, no, we don't eat out of the bait trap. That's bad.
Yeah, it's hard. There's a balance you got to strike, right? You can't have you don't want mice or rats.
Yeah.
Because they carry diseases.
Yep. So, and we get a lot of those that come over from the wildlife farm, or from the, I'm sorry, not the wildlife farm, but the dam across the way. So, so we have to, we have to be careful. So we have to strike that balance. And chipmunks and mice are natural enemies. So, but they don't always get rid of all of them. So we have to do that. So there's that deal there. So
an extreme close-up of my eyeballs right now.
Yeah. Well, that'll happen. I get that with my camera too. It goes, oh, extreme close-up. So, but yeah, so so you have to kind of get them trained as to where to come around. And the bunnies do come around to the dishes. They know that the dishes will be filled and they can come around there. But they also have to compete with blue jays and mourning doves and cardinals and robins and all kinds of other birds in order to get their meal. So
yeah, they're all sharing out there.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of competition. So every once in a while they go, oh, look, random plant, and then they go, and you're like, oh, come on, don't do that.
Well, and I've got some flowers that, in their defense, they're the kind of flowers that you make tea out of, so they're delicious, I'm sure, because I love the tea, so obviously they're yummy. So am I going to say they can't have some? They can have a little. Yeah. Just leave me a couple blooms so I can appreciate the color.
There you go. Right. Exactly. Sometimes you have to put everything in elevated planters too. Yeah. Unfortunately, especially if you want the little critters to survive. So. Yeah.
I kind of figure we're in their territory. Like they lived here before us.
Yeah. And they are territorial. They come back year after year, no matter what you do. Even if you go put them 5 miles away, they manage to find their way back. I don't know what it is, but they do.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'll tell my husband he needs to drive them out farther.
They will, though. The mama bunny, I don't remember what happened. I don't know if she got lost or whatever. She was gone for like a couple of months, and all of a sudden she comes hopping back one time.
Yeah. And then I guess as a mom, I would do the same. Yeah. Like you couldn't take me far enough away. I would find a way back.
Nope. She had abandoned her pups one year, and we were like, oh, we got a couple of pups. And then she came right back like months later. She's like, I'm home. We're like, hi, where have you been?
Bunnies can be weird. Okay, so I don't want to stay on this topic too much longer because I know we want to talk about the crime, but this is a crime, Tim. That happened.
Abandonment is crime.
We had bunnies growing up that we would raise, and we would use the rabbit poop to fertilize the garden, and then we would eat the bunnies. But I loved the bunnies. I know it was a hard knock life being a farm kid too.
It was, yeah.
But I loved the bunnies. So when they would have their babies, I would go out and look at them and ooh and ah over them. And one morning I went out. So I had a friend over the day before, and I said, do not touch the baby bunnies, because if you touch them, the mom will eat them. And she's like, no way. Somebody must have touched them. Oh, I'm not going to blame her, but I don't know who else would have done it. Oh. And I came out the next morning, and it was like a crime scene. It was just like blood. The mom was a white bunny. She was just drenched in blood. It was like a horror movie.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And then I said, we can eat that one. That's fine.
Yeah.
She's a murderer.
We could take her out. Yeah. Yeah. She's a rabid animal now.
Ate her babies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who eats her babies?
Oh. Evidently she said, well, they're contaminated. They're done. Yep. I'll make new ones. Yeah, it's funny. They turn quick on their young, don't they?
Yeah. It's scary.
Yeah, it is.
Probably not as scary as the stories you're going to tell me.
No. These will be fun. And in fact, Speaking of turning on their young, that's actually one of the first stories that comes to us from
What
Jana
a
today.
segue.
Yeah, it comes from one of our listeners. So, and it's Florida man. So you know what? It's a nice little segue. Thank you for that, Jess. Yeah, our first story comes from one of our listeners. And by the way, if you have a story for us, Tim at darknessradio.com. A Florida man is accused of turning off the air supply. And we're not talking about turning off the band, by the way. We're talking about actual air supply off of a teen lobster diver.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Turning on your young.
That's terrible.
Yep. And away we go. A dispute over a Miami lobster fishing spot led to an attempted murder charge after a man allegedly shut off a teenage diver's air supply mid-dive.
Whoa. That is like my worst nightmare.
Right? Yeah. Dying underwater is one of... Yeah.
Oh.
Drowning. Yeah. Court records show 51-year-old Michael Simpson was arrested by police after turning himself into the Miami-Dade County Jail on Tuesday. He faces one count of attempted murder following an incident early in the morning on July 29th. According to an arrest affidavit, a charter boat captain anchored near Miami with several juvenile divers on board for a lobster hunting excursion. As the crew prepared to dive, Simpson approached the vessel on a separate boat, circling the water several times before anchoring approximately 10 feet away. Simpson told the group that a larger boat was coming and a second vessel arrived and anchored nearby shortly after. The victim was underwater using a tankless diving system, which pumps surface air to the diver through hose lines connected to a floating unit. Police wrote that Simpson engaged in a verbal altercation with the charter boat owner and grew irate, stating that he could turn off the air unit if he wanted to. Investigators allege Simpson then jumped into the water and intentionally shut off the floating power unit, severing the victim's air supply. The boat captain yelled, "We have a diver down there, you a-hole," before jumping into the water to assist the teenager, the affidavit states. When the juvenile diver reached the surface, he was entangled in the air hose and anchor line, gasping for air and disoriented. Police noted that video of the scene shows Simpson swimming back to his boat and fleeing the area immediately following the incident. The diver did not sustain any injuries, thank goodness. Simpson declined to speak with detectives upon turning himself in to police. Court records indicate that he was held at the Miami-Dade County Jail. Want to play the bond game here?
I'm always game to try.
Okay, I'll have you give it one shot here. How much do you think the bond was on this deal?
Well, we're in Florida, so I feel like it's never as high as I think it's going to be. So, I mean, but he did a terrible thing. So I'm going to say like 20,000.
It's actually lower.
Okay. Like lots lower?
About half, $10,000.
Okay. I was going to say 8, but
yeah,
it has to be more than that.
No, 10,000, just a little bit. No upcoming court dates, by the way, have been scheduled for this.
I mean, they really just don't care about much in Florida, do they?
No. I mean, they must see this as such a minor dispute, I guess. I don't know, but yet you're threatening a juvenile.
Yeah. I'm like, not just threatening, but actually like doing something that could cause us serious harm or death.
Yeah, and it's attempted murder. So, I mean, you would think you get this on the books, get them ready to prosecute, but there's nothing on the books yet. And he made bond, which it astounds me. $10,000. That was it, and he's on his way out. He can
big deal, right?
He can go live life, which would never pass muster in any other state.
No,
I don't get it. Speaking of, we're not going much further for the next story. We're staying in Florida, Panama City to be exact, where a machete versus hatchet face-off escalated quickly.
I do love me a good machete story.
Yeah, machete. 2 combatants were arrested after a Publix parking lot confrontation. This is almost a perfect Florida man story. We have a machete.
It really is.
We have a hatchet, right? and we have a Publix parking lot. Now,
Are they naked? That would be the icing on the cake.
If they were, we'd be in another part of the program.
It's true.
And a face-off straight out of the news team rumble scene, an anchor man, a machete-carrying man, faced off against a hatchet-wielding opponent in the parking lot of a Publix supermarket, that according to police. As detailed in a criminal complaint, cops responded Tuesday to the Panama City business and found the duo each suffering from lacerations to their hands. So, yes, they each got a swipe at their... That's got to hurt. Investigators say that 52-year-old Everett Critchbaum, who should know better, was in his car when 35-year-old James Gay drove up and stopped near him after a verbal altercation. Gay then exited his vehicle and approached Critchbaum in an aggressive manner. From there, matters escalated quickly. Gay then returned to his ride, cops charged, and retrieved a machete and struck Critchbaum in the face with the sheathed weapon.
Dang.
Oh, he went right for it. Just wham.
Hit me anywhere but my face, please.
Right. Critchbaum told police that he initially brandished a hatchet in an attempt to deter Gay. These guys don't fool around.
Who are these people that just have, like, I'm just driving to the grocery store and I have a hatchet and or a machete in my car?
Evidently guys who are looking for trouble on the highway.
I'm lucky if I have a pair of sunglasses and a bottle of water.
See, you're not looking for trouble, though.
I'm not.
See, you're not out there going, all of these a-holes could do something.
I don't think I would survive in Florida more than just a vacation. I'm just saying.
See, I've been to the worst parts of Florida there, sister. I'll tell you something. If they allowed me to travel with a machete to Florida, I would.
You would, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've only been to Marco Island, and I'm looking around going, I don't see Florida, man.
Oh, you haven't been to the best parts. Did I tell you I almost got into an altercation at a Walmart in Pasco County?
No.
Yeah.
You're so sweet.
Hey, I didn't start it. Yeah. I totally didn't start it. Someone tried to start stuff with me, and I was just sitting there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's that kind of state, I'll tell you. Everything's bizarro world in that state. It really is. During the 4:30 p.m. struggle over both weapons, the men each sustained hand injuries. Critchbaum police reported, then said Gay struck him in the head, rendering him unconscious. After being read his rights, Gay reportedly admitted stopping his car to confront Critchbaum regarding prior issues and claimed that Critchbaum had been harassing him. Gay, cops say, admitted that he had the opportunity to leave the scene but chose not to due to his personal pride, and that he struck Critchbaum in the head and stomped him while he was on the ground.
Holy crap.
Welcome to Florida.
No, thank you. I'm going to stay here.
A review of public surveillance video contributed to the police determination that Gay was the confrontation's primary aggressor. Charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, Gay is locked up in lieu of $50,000 bond. This one they took seriously.
Finally.
Critchbaum, charged with aggravated battery, was booked into the county jail where bond has yet to be set for him. Gay and Critchbaum are seen above in their mugshots, I'll show you here in a second, taken by the Bay County Sheriff's Office. Both men were treated at a local hospital for their injuries. Gay was released from state prison in 2024 after serving 12 years in connection with the 2011 killing of a Florida teenager. So this isn't his first round with a machete, I'm sure.
Holy cow, he's a bad person.
Yeah. Police allege that Gay used a chain that was wrapped around his hand to strike Jacob Hendershot, who was 16 at the time, in the face, causing a fracture to his skull below his right eye. Gay's co-defendants then subsequently murdered Hendershot. Not his first time. So these are the two right here in question.
And those are the kind of people that travel with machetes.
Right. The younger of the two, this guy right here is the guy who did the stomping.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What a psycho.
Yeah. So, fun times down there at the Publix.
Woo.
In Florida. So we're off to a rollicking start.
We certainly are, Tim.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what else you have for me today.
Well, we're going to bring it right back here, home to Minnesota, to the Great Minnesota Get-Together.
Okay.
The Minnesota State Fair.
Supposed to be the best one in the U.S.
It is, except for there's two gangs that want to book extracurricular activities and add them to the fair activities this year, except for our Attorney General has said, not so fast, boys. I don't know if you heard about this lawsuit that's seeking to keep rival gangs from gathering at the Minnesota State Fair.
No, I haven't heard of it. No.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about it because it's an interesting story. Ramsey County has filed a lawsuit seeking to keep rival gangs from gathering at the Minnesota State Fair. They managed to get together last year and cause a little bit of a ruckus. And believe it or not, when you hear about the amount of people that are in these gangs, you might laugh. It's not that many.
Is it a lot or a little?
It's very little, very few. It's less than 20.
Oh, really? Just a little gang?
Yeah, they're little tiny, cute little baby gangs.
Oh, looks like a cute little baby gang.
A lawsuit filed Friday in Ramsey County seeks to prevent the members of two rival gangs from gathering at the Minnesota State Fair. To be honest with you, I had never heard of them before this story. Not at all.
I probably won't know them either.
The lawsuit filed by Ramsey County Attorney John Choi and Attorney General Keith Ellison connects the Ville and Muddy gangs to multiple fights.
The Muddy gangs? Like mud?
The Ville, yep, the Ville is one of them, and Muddy is the other one. They're both...
Cruella de Vil?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't call them that, but they're both Somali gangs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're connected to multiple fights, assaults, and shootings at the Minnesota State Fair and around the Twin Cities in the last several years. Now, nearly 2 weeks ago, an alleged Ville gang member posted about the 2026 State Fair on social media. The smart thing to do, right, if you're going to have a big fight, is to post about it on social media so everybody can see it.
I mean, yes, it's advertising.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Promoting the biggest battle of the summer at the fair on August 29th. So come on out for it.
Yeah.
Stupidest
watch
thing.
A gang fight.
Yeah, stupidest thing you could ever do.
Especially if you're a cop. Come watch the gang fight.
Yeah, come watch the gang fight, coppers.
Oh,
come on out and bust us. With individual Ville and Muddy gang members listed. So they listed the gang members that were coming out for the fight like it was a big wrestling match.
Wow. So an IQ test isn't part of joining the gang, I gather.
Yeah. Come see Lil Ville and Lil Muddy shoot each other up. Right there in front of the Midway.
Oh.
Friday's lawsuit asks the court to bar members of either gang from associating, standing, sitting, walking, driving, bicycling, gathering, or appearing at the state fair with other Ville or Muddy gang members. I think they covered it all.
Yeah. You don't get to go.
Yeah.
Stay home.
Yeah. Well, you can go, but just by yourself. You can't go with others. Yeah.
You're not going to be able to share your bucket of Martha's cookies with your gang friends unless you take them out and share them outside of the fair.
You know, they have multiple dill pickle type stuff out there this year. Everything seems to be dill pickle.
I love dill pickles.
Yeah,
you look disgusted. I'll eat yours.
They have like a dill pickle pie or something like that out there this year.
I saw that.
Oh.
I want it.
Disgusting. You can have mine.
Okay.
They can have all the dill pickle pie they want if they're by themselves, but not with your little Ville and Muddy guys. Nope. They can't come up. They can't come with. And they got to leave the weapons at home.
Darn it.
Court records say a fight between the two gangs at the state fair in 2025 ended with panic near the Midway. A video from the fair last year allegedly shows Ville gang members taunting rival gang members before another fight. The kind of violence that at a setting like the state fair, the danger is not only to the people being targeted by someone who's shooting or wielding a knife, but those who are around them, explains Mark Osler, who's a law professor at the University of St. Thomas. Ville gang members have also been connected to the shooting near Grand Casino Arena in May, and both gangs are tied to a shooting at the Burnsville High School graduation ceremony in 2025. Court filings go on to say Muddy gang members were stopped at a Somali Independence Day festival last year for allegedly carrying handguns with extended magazines. The lawsuit also notes a shooting by an alleged Muddy gang member against gang rivals on the last day of the 2024 State Fair, just outside the state fairgrounds perimeters. Officials are asking the judge to prohibit Ville and Muddy gang members from associating and confronting, intimidating, annoying, harassing, threatening, challenging, provoking, assaulting, or battering any person known to be a victim of or have complained about either gang. So they're saying they can't intimidate either.
Well, what fun would that be? You can't bring your guns. You can't come with your friends. You can't intimidate people.
Sounds like they should just be a regular fairgoer.
Just come be a normal person. Enjoy the fair. Eat the food. Get on the rides. Pet the animals.
Yeah. Just be a regular fairgoer. If you're going to bitch about something, just bitch about the fair. Yeah. Like a regular fairgoer.
And the heat, all the people.
Yeah. Yeah. Bitch about how slow they're moving. I mean, that's be a fairgoer.
Do you go to the fair every year?
I used to go every year. Yeah. I used to go out there and work every year.
Yeah. I did an interview with you guys once at the fair, and that was probably the last time I've been there.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to, by gosh, I think 2017 was the last year I was out there. 2017, 2018 was the last year I was out there working. Yeah, I miss working out there. That used to be kind of a fun deal for me, because when I was a kid, I used to go to the radio booths, and I used to go just to go to the radio booths as a kid.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. It was fun coming and doing the radio show with you guys out at the fair, and at the little booth in the window you can see out and people can see in. Yeah. Yeah, it's the fishbowl. You know, here's an inside tip for you guys. DJs hate going to the fair. Most all of them hate going to the fair because it's 10 days of going out there, parking. You're out there for your shift. You got to communicate, back to the station via two-way. It's high. It's, even though the booths are now air conditioned, it never used to be that way. It used to be a hot 4-hour mess. Yeah. And you got to put on your best face. You got to, for some DJs that don't bathe, they have to bathe every day. They got to brush their hair, brush their teeth, look presentable. They got to be presentable every day. And a lot of DJs don't like it. Because you're just usually behind the scenes. No one's seeing you. Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of DJs are extroverted introverts. Yes. And I get that. They don't like the big crowds. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed getting to meet people and talk to people, and I thought it was a fun time. So I liked it. I was in hog heaven. It's a lot. It's just a lot of people, and I get overwhelmed by it. That's why we just don't go. I do feel bad though. My youngest daughter was like, I've never been to the state fair. She's 16. Mm-hmm. And so I pulled up a picture of when we went with Logan and Ella when they were little, and I was pregnant. I was like, look, see, you were there. Yeah, you went. You've been to the fair. You just don't remember. Yeah. Well, you'll have to kind of bite the bullet and go out. Yeah, you should probably take her. Yeah. I mean, you good mom. Even if it's just for a couple hours, because after a couple hours, everybody gets tired of it. I know. It takes you a couple hours to find a parking spot. Yeah, it does. I mean, unless you go in an off-peak hour and find one. Yeah. When we've gone in the past, like way back, we would get on the bus. Like we'd park down in Burnsville or somewhere, hop a bus, and they drop you off. That's the way to do it. Or you know what you do? You find yourself a handicap buddy and get a good parking spot that way. Oh, hey buddy, let's go. See?
I'm just saying, Jess, there's easier ways.
Tim and Jess at the fair.
That's
Let's
right.
go.
You always get a good parking spot with this kid right here. Just saying. Our next story has to do with a Texas man. And this one, by the way, sent to us as well by a listener. So lots of listener involvement this week, which I love. So, by the way, tim@darknessradio.com. You can send your stories in there. Texas man allegedly bought 77 head of cattle with bad checks totaling over $159,000. The key words here, bad checks. I'm about to tell you how old the man was who wrote the bad checks.
Who writes checks anymore?
Right? Especially a man this old. Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
A 25-year-old Texas man faces charges after he allegedly bought dozens of cattle with bad checks.
25-year-old.
I didn't know 25-year-olds knew about checks.
I didn't either. I figured you would just Venmo him or something, or Zelle. My daughter always wants to Zelle.
Right. 25-year-old writing checks. Now, wouldn't that tell you, shouldn't that be the big tip-off that this kid doesn't have money? He's like, oh,
Sign number one.
I'll write you a check. Oh, come on, kid. Really? You know what a check is?
That's funny.
Peyton Dean Carroll was charged with felony second-degree cattle theft after purchasing 77 head of cattle from Buffalo Livestock Marketing Incorporated. The Leon County Sheriff's Department said in a release on Saturday. The alleged theft totaled $159,604.03. And he better have that 3 cents.
Wow. The 3 cents is the most important part, Tim.
That's right. The Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigation Division began investigating Carroll on July 17th after receiving a report of the alleged crime. The quote from the Sheriff's Office in a release said, "Our office extends thanks to Buffalo Police Department, Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association, and Navarro County Sheriff's Office for their assistance throughout this investigation." Carroll is from Berry, Texas, according to the Sheriff's Department. Evidently in Berry, Texas, checks still rule. Checks.
Checks.
Think that's fun? You want to hear about fun? I'm going to tell you about a guy I think I want to party with.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
A man is arrested after filling a hotel bath with potatoes during a 5-day MDMA binge.
Tim, I love potatoes.
But
and if my husband filled a bath with mashed potatoes, I would be like, yes.
It's on.
Yeah.
You know he'd be
butter and salt in there.
You know he's high on Molly if he fills the bath with mashed potatoes.
Oh God!
If it were mashed potatoes and gravy, what kind of gravy would you want?
I like chicken gravy, kind of regardless of what meat I'm eating. I just like chicken gravy.
Yeah, chicken gravy.
Or white gravy, like bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good too.
So if there's a whole bath full of mashed potatoes and chicken gravy, is that it?
Woo! I can hardly think about it. I'm getting so excited over here.
By the way, I was told in confidence this past week, if you decided to bottle that feet juice, you may have some takers.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, Mama has to pay for college, so let's start a bottling.
And I think if people have to seduce you into doing it, you may see a few bathtubs full of mashed potatoes and gravy. So
Woo.
just beware.
You guys would be proud to know I even shaved my toes the other day, so my juice wouldn't even have stray hair in it. Yeah, that's right. You liked it, Tim.
Yeah, that was great. It's a good thing I took a drink earlier. Says here, it's been a big night. The sun is rising. You haven't slept, and you can't work out whether this man has. It says whether the man you kept hugging in. Whether the man you kept hugging in fabric because he looked like your mom was actually a man, or in fact your mom.
Wow. Did the person writing this take ecstasy or something?
I think they did, along with this guy. You have 6 empty liter bottles of WKD next to your bed, no phone or memory past 4 a.m., and an overwhelming desire to watch The Wire while standing up.
Like the standing up part.
Yeah. But hey, at least you're not as bad as the guy who went on a 5-day bender and got arrested while filling a hotel bathtub with potatoes. Oh, it wasn't even his own. 30-year-old James Johnson had planned to go on a humble one-night sesh with his friends. To facilitate this, he ordered 750 pounds worth of drugs from the dark web, booked into a travel lodge in Eastleigh, which is near Southampton, England.
750 pounds.
Yeah. That's
a lot.
About $800
You're
bucks.
talking pounds as in money. I'm like,
pounds as in money, as in like $800 bucks worth of meth. Yeah.
750 pounds of drugs.
Yeah. Then I said,
carry on. You're talking about money.
Then I said England, Jess.
Yeah. So my brain was already,
Yeah.
That's a heavy load of drugs.
Yeah. 4 days later, Johnson and his friends were found high off their. I don't know that I should say this for not safe for work, but it says it in the story, so I'll read it. It says Johnson and his friends were found high off their proverbial tits in their hotel, dressed in women's underwear with a bag of potatoes.
This just got so weird so fast.
Didn't it, though? It's kind of fun, isn't it? I still party with them. I think it sounds kind of fun.
I would just be there with my camera and put it in on TikTok. Still want to get TikTok famous somehow.
According to local Southampton paper, the Southern Daily Echo, Johnson was arrested after police found him intoxicated and attempting to fill the hotel bathtub with potatoes. They also discovered a number of drugs, including MDMA, or the old Molly, the hallucinogen 2CB, and 5-MAPB in his hotel room. He was charged with possession with intent to supply. Police handed the illegal substances over to drug experts following Johnson's arrest. Tests showed that due to the impurity of the drugs, they were only worth about 300 pounds, or about $350. So they were gutted at that. They had spent a lot more than what they were worth.
Yeah, I got some shady stuff.
Yep. According to the Daily Echo, the prosecutor in Johnson's case said the police had seen him with the bag of potatoes and in women's clothing. He speculated it may be this that led officers to believe that he was intoxicated.
I mean, or he just likes to wear women's clothing. I mean,
yeah. And maybe peeling potatoes. Right. Maybe that's his thing. Maybe that's his king.
I think it's a combination of the women's clothing and the potatoes. That's like the real red flag.
Maybe when he was young, his mom used to sit around in her skivvies and peel potatoes, and that did it for him.
Ooh.
Yeah. Maybe there's some deep psychological work that needs to be done on his part.
A little therapy goes a long way.
That's right. The judge, who described the case as odd and bizarre, that's an understatement, asked Johnson why he had embarked on a 5-day potato bath-themed bender. He replied, it felt like the right thing to do at the time. And that sounds about right.
It just felt right, Tim.
Just feels right. Sometimes you just go with the flow, Jess. When the Molly's talking, we listen.
That's right. What else are you going to do? Yeah. You're whacked out on Molly.
That's right. And with that, it's time now for Not Safe for Work. You would have thought I would have been with that last story, but that seemed tame enough and like a good warm-up to get us ready for the Not Safe for Work part of our program. If the kids aren't freaked out enough, just tell them, hey, Mommy will be in her skivvies peeling potatoes later on tonight. That'll warm them up for later. And if your boss is kind of turned on by that, tell them, get that thought out of your head and go golf. And we'll start this segment in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Now, this story may seem tame compared to the last story, but the reason why we're putting this story in Not Safe for Work is because he uses a little bit of bad language, and we don't want the kids to hear.
Oh, maybe I should put my earmuffs on.
Yeah. Maybe, because it's about to get rough here, Jess. Potatoes in your skivvies, not bad. I mean, who hasn't done that?
Potatoes in your mom's skirt.
Well, okay, maybe that's a little weird. But, who am I to judge?
No, exactly. Do you, boo? I mean, I don't care.
That's right. The headline in this one, idiot auditor gets jail for assaulting Target. Michigan man tries to rage bait his way to cash. This sounds like fun so far, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of those so-called First Amendment auditors, the camera-toting instigators who seek to rage bait their way to YouTube payouts, was sentenced yesterday to a short jail term for pepper spraying a Michigan business owner during a confrontation earlier this year. A circuit court jury in late June found 47-year-old Ian Pfister. You Pfister, you brought her. That's the first off-color joke of the day. Guilty of, and he kind of looks like he's probably taken a fist or two himself. There you go.
Oh,
yeah.
And liked it.
Yeah. Well, he will in jail. They found him guilty of aggravated assault, which is a felony, and the illegal use of a self-defense spray. That's right. He had pepper spray on him. Pfister was arrested for attacking a meat market owner who objected to being filmed outside his Marine City business. Before he maced 64-year-old Richard Hobig, who excels at taunting his sidewalk targets. That's our man in question here, Ian Pfister. He dispensed such is it bone mows or bone mots? As I got a maxi pad in my bag if you need it, and I'll spray the fucking shit out of you, motherfucker. Stay back.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah. So he was, trying to taunt the meat market guy.
Why? Just for views on YouTube.
Yeah, for views on YouTube.
Weird.
A judge Monday ordered Pfister to serve 30 days in the St. Clair County Jail, placed the video provocateur on 18 months probation, and fined him $548. He was also ordered to have no contact with Hobig or his business. Pfister is a former heroin addict. There's a shock. With an extensive rap sheet. And we just showed you his booking photo on video. Criminal information filed in February described Pfister as a habitual offender and listed 4 prior felony convictions. Considering his criminal history, any future probation violation could result in a stiff prison sentence. He is married, by the way. He has a wife, Pamela.
Oh, girls, he's taken.
Yep, he's taken, ladies. Don't try to get that one. She's often filming at his side, so she's a habitual offender as well.
Wow, what a pair.
Yep. Pfister shows up outside strip malls, church gatherings, parks, government offices, and other sites in a desperate attempt to goad those being filmed into overreacting for his camera. Besides audits with a bit of rage sprinkled in, equal revenue. They equal revenue via views on YouTube, Instagram, and other platforms. Like other fellow auditors, Pfister pretends to be stress testing the Constitution by filming in public. He profanely reminds aggrieved subjects that his activities are perfectly legal, which I don't think they are. Of course, Pfister is not teaching an alfresco 1L con law class. He is actually driven by the need to incite, create virality, and scrounge up more subscribers. The latest video on Pfister's YouTube page was posted yesterday after his sentencing. The AI-generated clip shows Pfister being led from a courtroom by a deputy as he raps about his hard-knock life and notes or warns that he is only in for 30 days.
He'll be right back out there being an asshole.
That's right. You nailed it there, Jess.
Wow.
Yeah.
Seriously, I feel like social media has unleashed a whole new spectrum of mental illness. This desire to need more views and likes and social media fame, whatever that is.
It fuels the madness at times.
So weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it's brought on a lot of bad manners too.
Oh, so bad.
Yeah.
It's like we forget that we're talking to humans.
Yeah.
Or we no longer care.
Yeah. That's for sure. And it violates a lot of privacy too. I mean, people's privacy, which we used to just automatically give people their privacy, right? And it was considered good manners to let people live, just let people be themselves and let them do what they do, right? It was considered impolite to infringe on people's space, for lack of a better term. And now people just constantly violate people's boundaries just to aggravate them for whatever reason. Even if it's clicks, which is just plain rude, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And what do you really get out of that at the end of the day? I don't know. It's
Whole lot of
ego.
nothing.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. It's just nothing but a quick bit of titillation. And that's it. And then you're back to your life. Yet this person's been somewhat, even if it's temporarily, traumatized. What good is it? What good does it do for you besides a couple of pennies? Because really, YouTube is starting to demonetize now. It's demonetizing a lot of creators. So, I mean, it's going to be short-lived, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm
we
sure.
really got to wrap our arms around this because it is wild. It's gotten a little out of control.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, folks, hold on to your socks with this one. There's not anything too humorous about this one, but it just goes to show you that you can hit levels of depravity that you didn't think you could hit before.
Great.
This one is it makes even Florida man blush, I think.
Wow.
About how
That's
bad
saying
you can
something.
get. Yeah. A Florida pastor is accused of having sex with a 14-year-old boy while hiding his HIV diagnosis.
Him.
Yeah. This one hits levels of depravity you didn't think you could get to. 42-year-old Timothy Cheneyfield of St. James United American Free Will Baptist Church, boy, there's an oxymoron on that title, in Winter Haven, was arrested and faces multiple charges. There's more to that title, as I'll read it in the first part of the story here. A dope-smoking pedophile preacher, that's in quotes,
Wow.
had sex with at least one underage boy and an adult man without telling them he was HIV positive. And Florida officials said Tuesday they fear there might be additional victims. Yeah. 42-year-old Timothy Cheneyfield of St. James United American Free Will Baptist Church in Winter Haven was arrested after he got off a plane at Orlando International Airport on July 29th, according to the Polk County Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office alleged that Cheneyfield and a 14-year-old boy met on a dating app before Cheneyfield took their chats to Instagram, which led to 3 meetings for sex. Tips from Instagram and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children led detectives to Cheneyfield, according to Sheriff Grady Judd. He's back, kids.
Fan club, big fan here.
Big fan of the sheriff we are on this program. He told that to reporters on Tuesday. A 26-year-old man who also had sex with Cheneyfield was located by investigators and tested positive for HIV, according to Judd. The 26-year-old didn't know Cheneyfield was HIV positive until we brought it to his attention, and the 14-year-old had no clue that he was having unprotected sex with an adult who is HIV positive, Judd said. This guy's nasty. He's a menace to society, and he's proven that, according to Judd. Polk County deputies wanted to arrest Cheneyfield last week, but he was in Baltimore leading a funeral service.
Oh my gosh. You want that guy presiding over your last ceremony with your family? That's horrible.
Yeah. Judd said, we actually tried to catch him while he was in Baltimore because we didn't even want him wandering the streets of Baltimore. What is he up to there?
Bad things, Tim.
Yep. But the sheriff said his office got zero assistance from authorities in Baltimore, an agency that a spokesperson for Judd identified Wednesday as the Maryland Transportation Authority Police. A representative for that Maryland agency said its officers went to Baltimore Washington International Thurgood Marshall Airport on July 29th at the request of the Polk County Sheriff's Office to find Cheneyfield. After receiving the call, the MDTA police officers immediately responded to the gate in an attempt to locate the suspect and learned that the flight had been canceled and deboarded an hour before the officers' arrival. That according to the Maryland agency, they said that in a statement to NBC News on Thursday. MDTA police officers shared this information with detectives from the Polk County Sheriff's Office. Any statement that the MDTA police provided zero assistance is categorically false, they say. The MDTA police remain committed to working with our law enforcement partners in any state to assist in the apprehension of violent wanted suspects. Cheney Field has been booked on suspicion of 3 counts of lewd battery of a minor, 3 counts of interfering with custody of a minor, unlawful use of a two-way communication device, 3 counts of traveling to meet a minor, 4 counts of having sex as an HIV-infected person without informing the partner, possession of marijuana, and 5 counts of possession of drug paraphernalia. If you want to hear Grady Judd's last statement, I'll give it to you, and then we can move on.
Okay.
Judd said, "This is a dope-smoking preacher right here in front of you. He's a dope-smoking pedophile preacher right before you, and now he's locked up in the county jail where he should be. He was well-respected in the community. People trusted him. They believed in him. And now our plea is, if you've engaged this guy in sex, let us tell you about his HIV status, because he didn't." That's Grady Judd
Well
for you.
said, sir.
There you go. There you go, Sheriff Judd.
He's my favorite.
He's just right there to the point. They said that Cheney Field also was the chaplain for Compassionate Care Hospice in Lakeland and had previously been employed by Crystal Lake Middle School as a substitute teacher.
No.
Talk about a fox in the hen house.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grady Judd also said, "I would be shocked. I would be shocked if there weren't other children victims out there."
There are.
And he said, "I would be shocked if there weren't other victims out there as well." He was very active and he was very engaged. So,
What a bad man.
yeah. It wasn't clear Wednesday whether Cheney Field had a criminal defense lawyer to speak on his behalf. The United American Free Will Baptist Conference said St. James United American Free Will Baptist Church in Winter Haven is not affiliated with, governed by, or under the ecclesiastical authority or jurisdiction of the United American Free Will Baptist Conference. Accordingly, we are unable to offer guidance, insight, legal interpretation, or further comment concerning the matter. So in other words, they played the chicken shit heel and got the hell out of there.
Exactly. I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah. They ain't touching anybody's pole. That's what they're saying.
Especially not that guy's pole.
That's right. We're not touching anybody's pole, and we're not guilty. That's essentially what they had to say. Speaking of dating apps, our next story has to do with a man who's accused of stalking a woman he met on a dating app and then stealing her late son's ashes.
What?
Yeah.
People are so terrible.
I like to find these headlines on Word Scramble, and then I bring them in just to see if I can get a reaction out of you, Jess.
You can see my face when you read them, and I'm like,
that's right.
My eyes are bulging.
Then, of course, we're going to stay in Florida for this.
Of course.
Because
Why would we go anywhere else?
This stuff only happens in Florida. I'm finding this out. This stuff doesn't happen in the real world. It only happens in Florida. We go to Flagler County, Florida, where a Florida man is facing several charges after police say he stalked a woman that he met on a dating app and stole the ashes of her late son. This doesn't happen in the real world. I'm telling you. No. The Flagler County Sheriff's Office says 31-year-old Justin Fountain was arrested Saturday as he allegedly used GPS to track and follow a woman that he had met on a dating app around the country, including to work and to a hotel that she was staying at. It only gets worse. The victim told investigators after she met Fountain through the app, he became increasingly controlling and aggressive. She claims he not only stalked her, but also stole a teddy bear containing her son's ashes after she asked him to leave her alone.
Oh, she had him in a teddy bear?
Mm-hmm. Deputies say Fountain texted the victim over 100 times after allegedly stealing the ashes. The texts included threats to stop her from calling the police that reportedly read, "You need to answer my calls if you know what's good for you, and I'm going to destroy you."
Oh, my goodness.
This guy's cuckoo.
It really makes me want to go on a date with you.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Let's go to Chili's or Chi-Chi's or Applebee's. Why not? Deputies allege Fountain also threatened in the text to burn the stolen teddy bear if she continued to ignore him. Yeah, real nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly, she certainly feels safe with him. Investigators located Fountain along Interstate 95 and conducted a traffic stop. During a search of his car, they found the teddy bear containing the victim's son's ashes. Deputies arrested Fountain for aggravated stalking, extortion, and hindering communication with law enforcement. The Flagler Beach Police Department also charged him with unauthorized installation of a tracking device and access to electronic devices without authority. The stolen teddy bear was returned to the victim. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley said in a news release, "I commend the victim for coming forward despite the stalker's threats. Be extremely careful who you give access to your life. Evil, jealous, and cruel men like Fountain will use anything to control their victims, including extorting them with their most personal and emotional memories." Now, being this is Florida, I want to play the bond game with you here. How much do you think Fountain is being held on in bond, according to online jail records?
It has to be pretty low because he didn't hurt anyone. So I'm going to say 5,000.
You got to go much higher.
Higher?
Mm-hmm.
Are we up to like 20,000?
A lot higher than that. I'll give you one more shot.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why is the other ones are so low and this one? Okay, 45,000.
Believe it or not, higher than that. And I think it's because he stole remains.
Oh, Tim, yeah.
$61,000.
So you can go after someone with a machete, but don't you dare steal their ashes.
That's right. Don't you dare steal somebody else's ashes.
All right.
Otherwise, you're going to get it. That's for sure. All right. This one was sent by a listener. I believe it was Jana who sent this one as well. You gotta love the headline on this one, although it's not a very nice headline. Bound with a ball gag and dumped in the desert, a 17-year-old walks through a Phoenix Chipotle for help.
Oh, sad.
It sounds like a lot of my high school adventures.
That was a bad Saturday night.
Yeah, well, or a good one, depending on, what was going on around Anoka. I don't know. I mean, we didn't have Chipotle back then, but it might have been the Perkins.
Yeah. Do you have a Denny's? Denny's is always a good spot.
Oh, no, it was the Perkins off of Maine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You just walk over there and ask a waitress if you could use a phone.
Well, you can't because you got a ball gag in your mouth.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
But...
Can I use the phone? Yeah. She'd say, honey, you got to take that thing out. I can't understand.
You're going to have to write it down.
Yeah. Here's my pen and pad. If you just want to tell me what it is you need. I mean, we can go from there. But they were mighty understanding over there at the Perkins. I can assure you. Whether they are at this.
They've probably seen it all, Tim.
That's right. Here's the two nitwits that did the damage right here.
Yeah, they look like nitwits.
Yeah. Preston McKee and Brody Hester are their names. Two Pinal County men were arrested in Phoenix on Wednesday after police say they drove to New Mexico to pick up a 17-year-old girl they met online and sexually assaulted her in the valley. That is not doublespeak for anything, I assure you. I know. I shouldn't make a joke of that, but it sounds weird. 22-year-old Preston McKee of Apache Junction and 21-year-old Brody Hester of Florence were arrested on August 5th by Phoenix police on multiple felony counts of sexual conduct with a minor. Court records say both men admitted to investigators that they had sex with the teenager even after discovering she lied about being 18 and was actually under the age of consent. According to court documents, the investigation began with a tip to Phoenix police on June 17th. Officers learned that McKee and Hester had driven 6 hours to New Mexico in a blue BMW to pick up the teenager after connecting with her on a dating app called Duet. Never heard of that one before. The minor reportedly told the men she was 18 and trying to leave an abusive situation before traveling back with them to Phoenix. Investigators say the situation escalated after the men discovered her true age through a phone call from a New Mexico detective and a state ID found in her purse. The victim told police that after learning her age, the men tried to buy her a Greyhound bus ticket home. But after a timing mix-up, they brought her back to a nearby house. She told forensic interviewers that the men later bound her, put a ball gag in her mouth and a kinky mask over her face, took her to a hotel, and then sexually assaulted her. The men said that McKee eventually left her in the middle of the desert, where she walked until reaching a local Chipotle call for help. During police interviews following their arrest at a Circle K near 7th Street and Buckeye Road, both suspects initially downplayed or denied the allegations before changing their stories. Documents state Hester initially claimed only kissing took place. Right.
Okay.
But later admitted to having sex with the girl 4 times. There's a big, huge difference between only kissing went on and we had sex with her 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Including after realizing she was 17. McKee similarly admitted to sex after knowing her age, telling investigators he did not think it was a big deal because they already had sex earlier. Hester is being held on... Now, see, this is a real state, not like Florida. Hester is being held on a $251,000 bond and facing 3 counts of sexual conduct with a minor.
There you go.
There, that's better. Well, McKee is being held on a $200,000 bond and facing 2 counts. Court records indicate DNA evidence was collected from both suspects as they await their next court dates on August 12th, which is tomorrow. So there you go. All right. Now we're going to do a little dumb cops.
Okay.
Stupid evidence. This may seem like a kind of a weird story, but follow me on this. A former detective explains how a lifelike doll in a suitcase sparked an almost day-long police investigation in remote NSW. We're going overseas for this one. It might be slightly embarrassing, this is the quote, but I'd much rather it be a doll than they get it wrong and it was an actual human. Let me explain this story. A former senior detective has revealed why it took police almost a day to discover that a suspected woman's body stuffed inside a suitcase was actually a lifelike doll. Police were called to, I believe it is Walgan Road in Owalan, about 600 kilometers south of, I believe this is Goulburn, which is just before 1 p.m. on Sunday, after members of the public reported finding what appeared to be human remains in a suitcase. A crime scene was established amid torrential rain on Sunday night in the remote area where there was limited phone reception and no CCTV. On Monday morning, however, police confirmed the item inside the suitcase was a lifelike doll dressed in clothes with hair and a nose piercing. I'll give you 3 guesses as to what that doll was. The item also had markings that resembled bruises and grazes, police said in a statement.
Wow.
Yeah. Superintendent Linda Bradbury told reporters on Monday that the doll was very realistic in terms of looking like human remains. We don't necessarily like to disturb any crime scenes because that's our links to making sure that offenders are brought before the court. Macquarie University criminology lecturer Vincent Hurley, who spent 29 years as an operational NSW police officer and retired detective superintendent, said the outcome was far better than police making the opposite mistake. Nothing would look worse than them saying it was an animal and in fact wasn't. It was a human. In other words, and it wasn't. It was a human. He told 7news.com.au. In other words, this is in Australia. Hurley knows firsthand why officers would be reluctant to disturb such a scene. During his policing career, he attended an investigation after a real body was found inside a suitcase dumped beneath a tree in a reserve. He recalled the suitcase being only partially open before specialists arrive. The reason for that is that they don't want to contaminate or taint their crime scene by interfering with it too much, he said. Hurley said fully opening a suitcase could potentially disturb crucial evidence, including hair, clothing fibers, or DNA that could later help identify an offender. He said it was reasonable for officers to be cautious given the circumstances in which the suitcase was found, adding that it was not unusual for bodies to be concealed in suitcases and dumped in bushland. They play a little differently in Australia. What's that?
Yeah. I said, so this is a thing. They're accustomed to finding bodies in suitcases.
Yep.
So.
If it does happen, it's not outside the realm of possibility, he said. Hurley said he was not surprised that it took almost a day for police to establish the suspected remains were not human. He said what might appear to be a straightforward process could involve multiple stages. General duties officers would first attend and assess the scene before detectives were called in. If human remains were suspected, specialist forensic services and potentially a forensic pathologist could then become involved. The scene would need to be examined and documented from the suspected remains, and that they could be removed then and more thoroughly examined. Hurley said the fact that the discovery was made on a Sunday in a regional area could also have added to that time frame, as specialist resources are not necessarily immediately available locally. They're highly specialized, so they're pooled, he said. It's not like what you see on Netflix or anything like that. So it's not an immediate thing.
Right.
He goes on to say the death of a human being, regardless of the circumstances, is a pretty serious thing. The fact that they appear to be methodical, that they appear to take it seriously was, to me, the most important thing, and that they're acting in good faith, and it takes time. So it was backed up by another one of the police saying that they're being very careful.
Yeah.
And that there's no regrets at all, despite the significant police operation and resulting media attention that happened through this, that they found a doll in the suitcase.
How do you know?
That's right. Police said investigations into the body had concluded and that they're still probing how long it had been abandoned and whether it is linked to the dumped car in the area as well. There was a dumped car with it as well. So, but it was a pretty funny story over there that they found a doll in a suitcase.
You suppose they got to like 24 hours later and they're like, wait, this doesn't stink. It doesn't smell decomposing.
They keep going. Nope.
Smells like plastic.
Smells like rubber. And now we're going to go to our neighbors to the east, where they do have a little bit of an embarrassing situation going on. I don't know what it is about over in Wisconsin about stealing ambulances, but they have a real problem over there.
Again?
Yes. They have a real problem with it over there.
All the things I want to take on a joyride. That's like really low on my list.
I mean, I won't lie. I've thought about maybe once driving one, but not stealing one. Right?
Yeah, like permission.
Yeah, maybe getting permission from an EMT. You think I could take it for a spin once? I know the answer is no.
Just right? Around the block.
Yeah, just around the block. You can sit next to me. I just want to,
Keep the lights on.
Yeah, that'll be done. We're done. And again, it's a naked woman who's arrested for stealing an ambulance in Pleasant Prairie.
Wasn't the last one naked too?
Yeah. Hey,
so weird.
Take a good look. Here she is.
No. There she is.
There she is. Extreme zoom in. We go to Kenosha County, Wisconsin, where a woman's been charged with stealing a Pleasant Prairie ambulance completely naked. According to a criminal complaint, 36-year-old Emily Fair made 4 unauthorized transmissions over the vehicle's dispatch radio shortly after 1 a.m. on Tuesday. She can be heard saying, "I'm hungry, and do you guys have any food in there?" Oh, way to be blunt. She's more Emily Blunt than Emily Fair, right? Yeah. She was located in the vehicle around 2 a.m. near the Gateway Technical College Lakeview Advanced Technology Center. She reportedly asked the officer, "Are you following me or am I following you?" before driving off again.
Let me get this straight, officer.
That's right. Officers located her for the final time near Frogger's Landing in Pleasant Prairie. They approached the vehicle to find Fair in the driver's seat, completely unclothed. She told officers her dress was in the back of the truck. She then claimed to be a firefighter who was allowed to drive the vehicle. Oh, yeah, because they let him just go buck naked down the street.
All right. Why not?
It's hard to catch your clothes on fire when you're not wearing them.
That's safety protocol, Tim.
That's right. Officers allowed Fair to retrieve her dress from the back before she was taken into custody. It's less uncomfortable to handcuff you when you're clothed than it is when you're naked. Her bond was set at just $200.
No, it's fair.
Yeah. Her attorney was ordered to a competency hearing for her. I don't see why.
Yeah.
I mean, why a competency hearing? It sounds like she's just having a little bit of fun.
If she wasn't on drugs, then definitely get her a little help. Something's happening.
She might have been having a little drinky poo.
Yeah. Drink, little meth. I don't know what gets you naked and stealing an ambulance.
Little Molly.
I feel like it would have to be more than alcohol for me, but I don't know.
Well, in Wisconsin, it only takes a couple of drinks to get you to do something fun. I mean, there's nothing to do in Wisconsin, so stealing an ambulance is about right.
So if I get bored enough, you're saying I could just go naked as a jaybird and hijack an ambulance. All right.
It's either that or naked cow tipping. That's all you got to do in Wisconsin. That's it. I mean, or the Lady Godiva thing through the middle of town. That's all you got to do. Steal a horse and go down the middle of town.
Naked.
But that's all you got to do. I mean, that's it. There's nothing. It's that, or when it's football season, watch the Packers. That's it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, I get it. I grew up in a small town, and we did a lot of stupid things, and some of them did involve nakedness because we were bored.
See, so you know.
I think a perfect example, and I can't believe I'm going to tell you guys this, but it's pretty funny. My friend had this giant diesel car, like it was just huge as a boat. And we'd drive that around, and friends would be driving a different car, and we'd moon each other. But one day we thought, wouldn't it be funny if I just took my shirt off and hung it out the window, and then they did the same thing, and then the next thing was the pants and hung it out the window. The next thing you knew, we were all naked, and we jumped out of the car and ran around like the fire drill in a residential neighborhood, got back in and drove away. Looking back, I'm like, what? We weren't even drinking at the time. We were just seriously that bored.
And how old were you?
High school. I mean, we had to have been 16. At least we were driving.
Oh, my God. That's funny.
Yeah. Well, might have been a little bit of an exhibitionist. Don't tell my kids.
No, they won't ever hear this.
I wasn't alone. It was like a whole carload of us. We're like, this is so funny.
See?
Mm.
It happens in small towns.
Naked fire drill. Isn't that what they called it when you jumped out of the car and traded drivers?
Yeah, traded drivers. Yeah. Naked fire drill. Do you see that happening in the big city?
No.
No, you wouldn't even get to a stoplight. There'd be a cop right there.
Then you would be on someone's ring camera now. Like you couldn't get away with doing that without your mom finding out.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, you would not find out. You'd be on the old ring camera. The ring camera. Yeah. There's someone's cell phone. Someone would just whip out the old cell phone.
Yeah, none of that was back then. You could do anything.
Yeah,
free as a naked jaybird.
That's right. And there wouldn't be the video would come back to haunt you these days. You'd be at one of your signings, signing books, and someone would go, "Hey, Jess, remember when you were 16?" And you'd be like, "Oh."
I'd be like, "Yeah, look at that girl."
Yeah, there's
a
no
rocking hot body,
but there's no record of it, because no cell phone.
No.
Yep. So suck it, losers. I don't know what I mean by that.
I tell my kids it was a better time. It was a simpler time.
That's right.
And you could get away with shenanigans.
That's right. That's right. And now you kids, you don't know what you gave up. You gave up your liberties, your freedom for technology. Now you're stuck.
Yeah.
So good luck.
Yeah.
Now you're in a prison of technology. We'll find out everything you're doing. Now you got.
We're on to you.
That's right. Now you got Big Brother watching you. You got flock cameras everywhere. You can't get away. Yeah.
I mean, everything. We were driving home from taking Ella to college, and my husband, we were listening to a podcast. They made a quote that was from the, what's that Metal Jacket movie?
Oh, Full Metal. Yeah, Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my husband goes, hey, they used the Full Metal Jacket quote. And then he comes to my office the next day and he's looking at something on YouTube, and underneath the YouTube video he's watching is an advertisement for Full Metal Jacket. And he's like, how did they know? I'm like, they know everything, honey.
That's right.
Everything.
They're listening.
So creepy.
Mm-hmm. Now that you just mentioned that, there'll be an advertisement right under on the banner for this thing.
Yeah.
For Full Metal Jacket, the movie.
We should all watch it.
That's right. That's right. One last story here, and then our palate cleanser for the day. We're going to an IKEA showroom overseas. Now, most people go to IKEA. Maybe they're going there for the little horsey meatballs. I'm kidding. They're not made out of horsey. I always joke to people who say, I love the meatballs at IKEA. I go, I know, it's the best horse meat ever. It's not made out of horse, but it could be. But we're going to IKEA, where some people swear by the furniture. Some people swear by other things at IKEA, some of the food, whatever it is you go to IKEA for. One couple showed up in IKEA, and they'll swear by the bed they tested out.
Oh.
Yeah. Because someone actually videotaped them testing out the bed.
No.
A couple was caught in an intimate act on an IKEA showroom bed in front of stunned shoppers. A raunchy couple was filmed getting amorous on an IKEA showroom display bed, leaving families stunned, sparking fury online and raising the prospect of public indecency charges. I believe this is in Taiwan is where it happened. A pair of frisky shoppers clearly couldn't contain themselves after they were caught sharing an intimate moment on an IKEA showroom bed. Speaking of doing things when you're young and thinking no one's watching. The cheeky couple turned the furniture showroom into their own private love nest after being filmed getting steamy on the display mattress. Shoppers were left red-faced as they started kissing and caressing in full view of families. The pair, both dressed in black, apparently wanted to test the mattress's buoyancy, ignoring other shoppers as they reportedly explored each other's bodies with their hands. The woman's low-cut top and exposed waist left little to the imagination. The brazen couple even dumped their shoes on the next display bed. So they were getting busy. Right?
Getting serious when you're dropping your shoes.
That's right. Witnesses say they seemed completely lost in the moment. And they have a blurred out picture of the two of them on the bed.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Starting to get down.
Yikes.
Yep. The incident took place at an IKEA branch in Taiwan on July 16th. An outraged mother shared the clip on social media 4 days later. She's just like, I'm so outraged. Here, take a look.
Yeah, everybody look at this.
Look at these two going at it. She said her child spotted the pair and ran over to her to tell her it looked disgusting. The furious parent reached for her phone to film the couple. Oh, yeah, it's disgusting. Here, let me tape it for you so you can
I'm
remember
totally
it.
not going to watch this later.
Yeah, so you can remember it when you're older. She posted the clips on Threads and blasted them for failing to control themselves in public. Her quote was, "Go home, get in the car, or rent a room." Wait a minute, there's options? I guess there are when you're that young. Go home, get in the car, or rent a room.
Yeah. All of the above would work. The car would be the cheapest.
Yeah, the car would be the cheapest and most
And quickest.
immediate because it's right out in the parking lot, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Many online users declared IKEA is not a hotel, adding that the pair lacked any sense of boundaries or manners. Others suggested the store should put up signs banning any canoodling on the mattresses. Isn't that obvious, though? I mean, do you like walk into JCPenney and go, wow, that looks like a great bed to shag on? Sure, why not? Let's give it a shot.
You're like, I want to see if those sheets are really comfortable, so I'm going to get on the ring.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you don't generally do that, right? Common sense says not to do that. Under Taiwan's public indecency law, the couple may face up to a year in prison or a fine of around 220 pounds. And no, that isn't the pressure he applied when he on the mattress. No official comment has come from IKEA or the local police. This isn't the first time aroused shoppers have taken advantage of IKEA's iconic showrooms. Back in 2020, a woman in China filmed an X-rated video on a busy IKEA shop floor while pensioners and young children walked by.
These are just exhibitionists. Like they want people to watch them.
And why IKEA?
I don't know.
What is it about? Are they that lacking security that it's that easy to get away with?
Or is this like some TikTok trend that we're not aware of? Like, are people out there like hashtag get it on at IKEA?
What are they calling it? The IKEA wouldn't want to be a challenge? I mean, it's kind of bizarre, right?
It's weird.
It's kind of, out there. I guess with that, we need a little bit of a palate cleanser. If you're thinking about somebody right now who may be getting it on at IKEA, that's probably not the, it might be an image you want to get out of your head. I mean, I'm kind of wanting to get that out of my head too. Although, what would be your reaction if you came across two people on a bed in IKEA?
I would film it. I don't know that I would be irate. I would videotape. I'd probably go live.
Oh, yeah. Put it live. Yeah.
I'd be laughing so hard. I'd be like, oh my God, you guys. Look what's happening.
Where do you put it? Do you put it on TikTok or Instagram for the most views?
Gosh. Well, I have the most followers on Facebook. But also that's like my aunts and uncles.
On Facebook. Yeah. So the old folks would be like, oh my gosh. Oh.
Yeah, I better do it on TikTok.
Oh, cripes. Can you take that off the screen already? Mm-hmm. Oh, I was looking for recipes, but not recipes for that. Oh, for cry eye. Oh, I'm not going to need my glaucoma medicine this month. I got an eyeful already. Oh, geez. Oh, yeah, that I don't think that one's going to fly with the relatives. Yeah, I think probably TikTok is going to be your best shot. And even then, you're probably only going to get about 30 seconds before they shut you down.
Yeah, probably so.
I mean, I hate to bring this up, but over the weekend we had the Perez Hilton thing, or over the week we had the Perez Hilton thing.
Oh yeah.
Actually, one of our listeners sent me the video. I actually watched the video. Yeah, it was disturbing. It was disturbing. Yeah, and there's a young man that definitely needs some psychiatric help. But yeah, it's amazing how much video TikTok let out before they shut it down. I'm amazed they let that much video out. They should have shut it down much sooner. Much sooner.
Yeah.
So we need a palate cleanser. And with that, the theme is weddings today. But not just weddings, unusual weddings. So I'll ask you this, Jess. At the time that you and the mister were getting married, if you would have been given the option of maybe throwing one of your pets in there, would you have done that?
On my wedding? Yeah, for sure.
But not just as a member of the family, but maybe getting an additional certificate and making the pet a member of the family.
Oh, like a adoption or?
Well, I'll give you an idea of what we're talking about. Boston is now offering pet certificates for couples who wed at City Hall. The furriest members of the family can now get in on the big day. Mm-hmm. Okay. So couples who are tying the knot at Boston City Hall can now leave with more than just a marriage certificate. Their family pet can now receive official recognition too. Mayor Michelle Wu announced Friday that couples who bring their pet to a City Hall wedding ceremony can request a playful pet certificate that officially welcomes the animal into their union.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Now, any couple who gets married in a city hall can request a pet certificate upon uniting their household, Wu wrote alongside an Instagram video announcing the program. The certificate is dedicated to the shared commitment, love, nurture, and proper cuddles our pets bring into our lives, is what it says on the certificate. Be sure to bring your pets to make the ceremony perfect, she added. Get it? Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. In the video, Boston Registrar Paul Chong officiates the wedding of a smiling couple before presenting them and their golden retriever, Bono, with the city's first pet certificate. We want to thank Bono, Brian, and Mariana being the first family to receive one of those. Chong says in the video, this is Bono's paw of approval. Oh, that's cute.
Oh.
The certificate, titled Family Companion Status Record, bears the seal of the City of Boston Department of Cuddles, Office of Scratches and Pets. So it's got an official title, the office does.
That's the cutest.
Yeah. It declares that Bono has been recognized as a true Bostonian. Get it? Instead of Bostonian, he's a Bostonian. So there's another paw reference. And welcomed as an honored member of the newly united household. So, a member of the family.
Yeah,
see?
Yes, they are. They're my babies.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as weird as a throuple, but I mean, it's a member of the family. Now, something a bit more odd as far as weddings go. A lot of times when you're planning your wedding, you want to remember somewhere romantic, right? Maybe the first place you met. Maybe you want to be married there. Maybe you want to do something that's not as traditional as a church. Maybe you want to be married by a riverside, or maybe a park somewhere that you first met, or I don't know. This particular couple took a more non-traditional route, a less traditional route. There's an Ohio couple who works at McDonald's, and they got married at the restaurant in a Golden Arches wedding. Now, a lot of us want a birthday at McDonald's when we're little.
Sure.
Would you want your wedding at McDonald's?
No.
Let me introduce you to the blissful wedded couple that did the deed at McDonald's.
Good for them.
Whoa, extreme close-up again. Jamie and George, I believe it is Calicote, married at the McDonald's where they work in Akron, Ohio. Okay. It was a marriage that was made at McDonald's. Love was on the menu at the McDonald's restaurant on Thornton Street in Akron, Ohio over the weekend as coworkers Jamie and George Calicote took loving it to another level by saying I do inside the restaurant. Although the location was unconventional for a wedding, the couple wanted to exchange vows there on Saturday, August 8th, because it holds meaning in their relationship. The Calicotes, who met at the Cedar Point Amusement Park last summer and got engaged there months later, worked together at McDonald's and considered their coworkers to be like family. So when their boss jokingly suggested they wed at the establishment, they decided to move forward with the idea. Plus, it's probably a hell of a lot cheaper than a hall, I got to think. And you can have the reception right there. It's all catered and everything, right?
And the food is Happy Meals for everyone.
That's right. Happy Meals for everyone. Everybody gets a free toy, right? I actually moved to Akron shortly after we got engaged and applied here, McDonald's as well, and ended up working right alongside George, Jamie told the outlet. We opened together for 5 days a week as of right now. we open together for 5 days a week as of right now. I'm actually now training to be a manager here. So my schedule is changing a little bit, but he is a regular opener at this store. So she's going to be more powerful than him to start out the, it's a lesson for, that's right. It's a lesson for the marriage, right? I mean, he's already getting a taste of it.
When mama's happy, everybody's happy.
That's right. The wedding took place inside the restaurant's main service area, with Jamie making her entrance from a staff area. Where else was she going to come out of, right? The pair tied the knot surrounded by their guests and red and yellow balloons. Again, what other colors would you have? It's McDonald's.
Nope. That's what you got to go with. Those are your colors.
That's right. For the ceremony, the bride and groom ditched their uniforms for formal wear, thank goodness. Jamie wore a short-sleeve wedding dress with floral lace detailing, while the groom wore a black dress shirt with a red tie and black bottoms. Per photos and videos of the nuptials shared by local news outlets, the flower girl and ring bearer also dressed in McDonald's signature red color. The supersized celebration featured a wedding cake made by one of the couple's co-workers. The restaurant carried on operating through the drive-thru, so they didn't lose any business.
That's wild.
Oh, isn't that something? Jamie and George are heading back to Cedar Point for their honeymoon, by the way. People magazine reached out to McDonald's for comment. I don't know what comment they want. You know what? I know what comment they want. What beverage was served during the reception? Was it the orange Kool-Aid or the orange high C? Was it big coolers? You remember the big yellow coolers?
That's kind of a classic McDonald's drink.
That's right. Yeah. And was it complimentary cheeseburgers for all the guests?
I mean, it would have to be.
Yeah.
And French fries.
And French fries, just the small ones, right?
No.
No?
Large ones for everyone.
Really?
Supersize the fries. Yes.
Because I thought it was always for parties. It was always either cheeseburgers and hamburgers or the small fries.
I don't know if I told you this already, but I really like potatoes. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You really like potatoes. I wonder if you can order willy-nilly off the menu at a wedding. I wonder if it's like a a la carte deal. You can just go up and pick anything off the menu.
Get your own meal. Yeah, that's easy.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I'm down. I'm happy for them. This story made my cheeks hurt from smiling. It's cute.
It's kind of a different deal, isn't it? I thought it was cute. It's a cute.
I love it. I hope they live happily ever after.
I hope so too. I just hope she doesn't go mad with power and start pushing him around. And then it ends in a divorce. That would be the worst thing ever. But, for now, it's a happy little story.
I really liked her until she became my boss at McDonald's.
Yeah. Then it was nag, 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 nag all the time. At work.
Always telling me to refill the straws.
That's right. The napkins are empty. Could you jump on a register? Can you go back and flip some burgers?
Exactly. So bossy.
She thinks I do everything around here. Then we get home and it's, could you do this? Could you do that? You know what? I do that at work.
Yeah.
It's just, poor guy's going to be henpecked. I can see it now.
No.
You don't think so?
No, I'm not putting that on them. I'm thinking good thoughts, Tim. Okay. Manifesting a long and happy life.
Okay. All right. Okay. All think good thoughts.
With lots of French fries.
With lots of French fries. Do you think instead of rose petals on the bed, it was nothing but French fries scattered on the mattress for the honeymoon?
Man, you're giving me some good ideas in this show today. I'm going to have to talk to my husband. Bathtub full of mashed potatoes, French fries on the bed.
French fries on the bed. And a clown holding the camera in the corner.
We can do without that part. That's creepy.
Yeah, okay, that is a little creepy.
The potato's not weird. The rest of it's great.
Okay, Grimace in the corner holding the camera. Is that better?
That's a little better.
Okay. Hamburglar? Robble, robble. Robble, robble. All right, well, we should just get to the end of the show. I know I've taken it too far.
We should.
I've taken it a bit too far.
It got weird.
It got weird at the end. It always does.
I blame you.
And thank you. That's the other part of my love life too. I blame you, and it got weird at the end. Speaking of, boy, oh boy, you're having a big day today. So there are 3 books out now that people can go get. So how do they do that?
Well, you can find them on Barnes & Noble or Amazon, anywhere you buy books. You can find them, buy them. We have a book signing coming up in September. I'll share some more information about that if anybody is local and they want to come get their books autographed, hang out, hear some stories.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Also, you have a course out there as well that people can indulge in.
I do. I have a course online. So if you go to my website, you'll find my course on there, and you'll also find my books. So jessicafreeberg.com if you're interested in that stuff. If you want to sign up for my newsletter, I do send out a newsletter every Sunday and put good stuff in there, kind of uplifting, help you get through your week.
Excellent.
A little positivity.
Excellent. All right. Tomorrow on the big show, Mally Fox is back with Supernatural News. So we got that coming up tomorrow.
Yay.
Thursday, your big teasers that we have an old friend coming back. We're going to catch up with him. He's got a brand new book out. And we will indulge in his supernatural tales and his adventures that he's been on.
You had me at adventures, Tim.
Yep. So there you go. That is the week. That is the week encapsulated. I'm trying to use bigger words.
It'll be a good week.
Yeah, that it is. So that is it for today, folks. Thank you so much for joining us today. I want to thank our guest as well today. It's been a big day. Big day today on True Crime Tuesday. Again, you can support both programs, True Crime Tuesday and Darkness Radio, by going to our shop, darknessradioshow.com. Go to the shop and you can get swag at the shop and support both programs. Also, make sure you've got the Darkness Radio Apple app and download it on your Apple device. And we'll see you back here tomorrow for Supernatural News. For Jessica Freeberg, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much for continuing to listen and watch the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday.